So we're on all of those platforms simultaneously as we speak. I want to make sure this is mirrored here. For some reason, only TikTok allows me to mirror the program. But what up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Glad to have you guys here with me this Christmas week. So everybody's getting ready to enjoy whatever the hell Santa brings them for this holiday, or maybe they're playing the unfortunate role of being Santa, which means spending a whole lot of damn money. I'll tell you one thing, the folks who are going to be receiving gifts from Santa are a hell of a lot more happier than the folks who are going to be playing Santa. The ones who are playing Santa are probably like, bring on January 2nd to get all these damn holidays past us. I'm obviously playing Santa, so my days of receiving gifts from Santa are long fucking gone. So at this point, I'm like, just let's get to January 2nd, get these holidays behind us so I can tally up how much damn money I spend. But that's a whole different live stream, whole different conversation. Anyhow, as I said, welcome to the program, and certainly made it first. First support for you, handsome liberal. Thank you, handsome conservative. Let me just take a moment out, handsome conservative, to just show you nothing but appreciation. I want to say thank you for all you've done for the show. So thank you very much. A little bit of music for you there. So thank you, handsome conservative, for all your support. One of my conservatives that does support the program. Anyhow, getting into the actual show. Yeah, thank you, handsome conservative. Getting into the actual show. What does America First mean to you? You've heard it since President Trump's been on the scene, and he's not the first commander-in-chief to use the phrase America First. I believe Reagan used it. I believe Bill Clinton used it a little bit, but of course it's being used far more frequently with President Trump. But he is not the first president to use the phrase America First. But I want to ask you folks, what does America First mean to you? And I'm going to come to you with now this montage is probably going to take about 5 minutes, but it's amazing at what I'm about to drop on you folks in regards to asking that question. What does America First mean to you? And do you feel right now that President Trump, unlike Biden, unlike Bush, unlike Obama, unlike any other president, do you feel confident that we're now in the era where we have a president that is indeed treating Americans first as opposed to anyone else? So I'm going to give you a few things that I want to discuss with you because I need clarity. I'm kind of baffled, so to speak, as in regards to what's going on. So some of you folks may have heard today that President Trump announced that they're going to be building some Navy ships. Apparently a bunch of them. I'm not going to play the whole clip, but these are called golden class ships. In other words, you see the picture that's he's standing in front of. It says Trump class. So a new band of Navy ships. You know, there's a Ford class. There was the Nimitz class. He's going to have the Trump class. And thank you there, Blue One Banks, for that TikTok. I appreciate that, starting the program off right. So President Trump is going to have his own fleet of ships named after him. They're going to be called the Trump class ships. I could play some of the clip. I don't want to get too deep into it, but he definitely describes the ships in detail. And listen, do we need more ships? Is our Navy being dilapidated? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But there are folks who believe that there's absolutely nothing wrong in strengthening the U.S. military. So that really depends on your take of it. But this is just a small snippet of why I'm asking this about America First. But this is indeed a small snippet of why I'm asking this. But I do want you to hear a little bit of President Trump's spiel.
That I have approved a plan for the Navy to begin the construction of two brand new, very large, the largest we've ever built, battleships. You know, you used to build the Iowa, the Missouri, the Wisconsin, the Alabama, many others. We had big battleships. These are bigger, but they will have 100 times the There'll be 100 times the force, the power, and there's never been anything like these ships. These have been under design consideration for a long time, and it started with me in my first term, because I said, why aren't we doing battleships like we used to? And these are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. So if you look at the Iowa, the Missouri, Wisconsin, Alabama, and others, but they were similar in size, some a little bit bigger than the others. But if you take the biggest one, it's 100 times more powerful. They're longer by a little bit, but and they're bigger. They're bigger ships, but they hold a bunch.
Okay, now I'm not going to play. It's about another minute of this, but I don't need to play the rest of it. You've probably heard this. He calls them the Golden Fleet, and he says that there could be as many as 40 of these as the years go on. So this is a new era of the Trump class ships. Now, listen, that could be good, that could be bad. That depends on who you ask, but I want you to hear. I want you to understand where I'm going with this. I think soon you're going to understand. We're going to go from the Trump class to something else that was announced earlier this year.
It reaches levels that has never been reached, both in terms of stealth and speed and everything else that they go by. So they're just completing their factory, and they've already started work on the F-47. How did that number get chosen? I don't know, but I didn't pick it. I did not pick it. It was said, sir, we'd like to present you with the F-47.
F-47, a new jet coming out. It's not exactly called the Trump jet, but it's pretty obvious why it is. It's pretty obvious the F-47, we understand the relevance. It hasn't been that long since we completed the F-35. Here's a model. I got a bunch of these models around here, but this is the F-35, which in itself is not very cheap either. But okay, we went from the Trump class of Navy vessels to the Trump F-47, which is likely to be President Trump's. The F-47 is obviously sounding like a jet that may be named after President Trump. But as they say in the infomercials, there's more.
Thanks all of you for being here today and talking about a subject that's very important to all Americans across the country. And as Dr. Smith said, an out-of-control healthcare system, which it is. Mr. Cuban, innovative companies like Cost Plus Drugs have already proven that bypassing traditional PBMs can deliver real savings at pharmacy counters. President Trump has announced Trump RX, a new website to connect patients directly with the best prices. How might Trump and RX and direct patient programs improve affordability for patients? Your basic why you're doing this.
So you hear him talking about President Trump is likely to bring down the price of drugs, but you hear what it's called: Trump RX. Trump RX. So we've heard about the Trump fleet. We're talking about the F-47 jet. We're talking about Trump RX, his own drug program. I mean, listen, it may turn out to be great. Bringing down the price of drugs could indeed be a good thing. I don't see anything wrong with bringing down the price of drugs. But, like I keep saying, but wait, there is indeed more. Now, in addition to what we've talked about so far,
we are speaking out after the Washington, D.C. Arts Center, built as a living memorial to the slain president, was renamed the Trump Kennedy Center.
I was surprised by it. I was honored by it.
The president claiming he was surprised by the decision, but he has repeatedly referred to the center as the Trump Kennedy Center before the name change.
Some people refer to it as the Trump Kennedy Center, but we're not prepared to do that quite yet. Maybe in a week.
Okay, so we're talking about the Trump Kennedy Center. I don't know if you guys are aware of that. I'm pretty sure many of you folks have heard that. Earlier this year, we actually had a discussion. I think we had a few shows on this. But just in light of what we're talking about now, it's worthy of discussing again.
Mr. President, what do you say to people who view that luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it behind?
Your ABC fake news, right? You should be embarrassed asking that question. They're giving us a free jet. I could say, no, 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 don't give us, I want to pay you $1 billion or 400 million or whatever it is. Or I could say, thank you very much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him? He won 82 tournaments. He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say, thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it, they miss it.
Respectfully, sir, as a businessman, some people may look at this and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received
It's
anything?
not a gift to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense. And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough.
So he's going off on the reporter, but obviously he's talking about the jet. We've covered this, the jet from Qatar. It's came up many times. Listen, it depends on how you feel about it, but that is what he was talking about. And last but not least, this actually isn't last, but we'll talk about it.
$5 million. For $5 million, this can be yours. That was the first of the cards. You know what that card is?
Gold card.
It's the gold card. The Trump card, gold card.
Who's the first buyer?
Me. I'm
Who's the second?
I don't know, but I'm the first buyer. It'll be out in about less than 2 weeks.
Now, I don't know if you could hear him over Air Force One. This is obviously filmed while they were actually in the air, so you can hear the roar of the 747 engines there. But he's talking about the Trump card. I forgot. I think, did he say 5 million or 1 million? But it's an immigration card. Allows you to get into the United States. It's got his face on the front of it. It's literally got his, and it says Trump card. It's got his face on the front of it. So I'm just going to ask you, the show is about America first. Is it me? Maybe I'm being, listen, maybe I'm suffering from an acute case of TDS. Maybe you guys can help me out. But does it seem like this man in less than a year is the only one that's getting so much shit? Why if it's America first, okay, he's getting his own Navy fleet. He's getting the F-47 jet. He's getting the Trump card. He's getting Trump RX. So that's his name is on that. He's getting a jet from Qatar. He's getting the Kennedy Center renamed after him. Obviously, he had a military parade on his birthday earlier this year. And now we're talking about a ballroom as well. America first. Do you feel like that is what is happening? Or this has only been a year, folks. This is only not even. We're talking about 11 months. He's gotten all of this. He's gotten all of these things, and I'm certain I'm missing some things. I'm certain he's gotten more than just what you're hearing from me. Why? How is he getting his name and getting so much stuff? Remember, this is supposed to be America first. So I'm asking that question, simply put, do you feel like he is governing from a standpoint of America first? Or some folks in the comments are already saying it looks like it's more like Trump first. But I want to get your opinion, because look, if Obama or Biden was doing this kind of stuff, for those who may suggest that this whole topic is Trump derangement syndrome oriented, if Obama was doing all of this or Biden was doing all this, let's not pretend like the other side wouldn't be questioning, why the hell is your name on so much shit? It's only been a year. It's only been a year. How did you get all of these things? So I want to hear from you folks. When do we get to the point where you feel confident it's America first, as opposed to him just seeming to get endless gifts? Endless gifts. Like I said, I stopped at the ballroom, but there is more. There is more. Only a year. So we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, we're going to have a little fun. I want to hear from you folks in regards to the best and worst of President Trump and predictions going forward for 2026. I want to hear the best thing Trump has done for the country, the worst thing you think he's done for the country, or more, or the most beneficial thing he's done for America, and perhaps the most chaotic thing he's done for America, and your predictions going forward for 2026 and possibly beyond. I do believe you could probably put a partition between, okay, because he has 2025, 26, 27, and 28. Those are the years he governs. I do believe you could probably put a partition between 2026 and 2027. I think you know why. But I believe in terms of what Trump is going to be doing for America, what he's capable of doing for America, what he has planned to do for America. You could probably when you go grocery shopping and somebody's in front of you on their little automatic whatever before the cashier rings you up, you slap that little partition in between the person's groceries in front of you and yours. I think you could probably put a partition in between 2026 and 2027. But I want to hear from you folks. Do you feel confident that Trump is governing from an America First standpoint? And how does is this just Trump derangement syndrome pointing out how much stuff that the president has already accumulated in his name in only 1 year? So looking in the comments, and you guys know how the program is run. We'll go straight to the comments and then to the box. You know we don't block, ban, or censor anyone on this program. Program is always MAGA friendly, always will be MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. We go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. So everybody gets to speak. Nevertheless, you can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. So looking in the comments, put a partition in 2023. I don't get what you mean by that, Wayne. Trump's personality traits can be annoying at times, but ultimately I select for the best Delta Force operative, not the sweetest. Okay, I don't quite get why you need Delta Force in as a president. Are we at war? Let me know. Why is on air? Well, the YouTube is flipped. That's why you're asking why is it backwards. Anyway, looking in the comments, have you not looked at all the money that has been wasted from our tax dollars? Well, everything I named is coming out of your tax dollars. Trump's fleet of ships, Trump's F-47s, the Trump card may bring in money if he's talking about charging $1 million for immigration or whatever. The problem is, listen, we can go back and forth on what happens with our tax dollars, but if you don't see any of this shit, it's kind of irrelevant. Like, okay, perfect example. They're talking about how much money Doge saved America, how much money Doge has brought in by not sending money to the Ukraine, by not continuing USAID, by putting immigrants out that are getting entitlement. Have you seen any change to your finances at all? Do you see any change to your finances on the horizon based on what's happening? So we can talk about tax money and all of that shit, but at the end of the day, if you don't feel it, you don't see it, it benefits you. I don't really know what good it is, but let me know. Maybe you've seen some benefits. But in regards to tax money, Trump RX, we'll see how that works out. That could be good. The Qatar jet is undoubtedly going to cost you tax money. The money they're spending to get the Qatar jet up to par. Keep in mind, they are currently building another Air Force One. So we're going to have two of these at one point. Trump orchestrated and approved a new Air Force One when he was in office the first term. They're still working on that. So there will be an Air Force One. I think it's going to be red, white, and blue instead of just blue, white, and silver. But there's going to be a new one. So the Qatar jet is in the middle of that. It's in the middle of that. So that you're spending millions on a jet that's not going to be flown by more than just him. After him, the other jet should be available. So he's the only one flying it. I don't know why he keeps saying they're giving that jet to America. I don't think many Americans are going to ever get in there. The Kennedy Center being named after him, that's your tax money. I don't know how much it costs to rename the Kennedy Center, but everywhere his name is being added, you're paying for that. The military parade obviously cost a fortune. They had to repave the streets in D.C. to handle the weight of tanks and things like that. You paid for that. We're mentioning the ballroom. Trump claims the ballroom is coming from donors, but he doesn't specify who is giving them the money. So that way, at least in my humble opinion, you can let me know otherwise, but in my opinion, if you don't tell me where the money has come from, there's no way for me to know if you're not giving them something for the money. Like, for instance, the Qatar jet was a free gift, and now you hear Qatar is going to be learning to fly F-15s in Idaho. If those folks are giving millions of dollars to that ballroom, do you tend to believe that they're just doing it out of the kindness of their heart? So talk about that. But America first. We do know Argentina's getting billions, but we're talking about America first. So looking in the comments, so much winning, says Big App. You said so much. Yeah, Trump has stated he's going to be winning so much, you'll get tired of it. Are you tired of winning yet? Let me know in the comments. Look it up. It's called Google, idiot. What are you suggesting there? What are you telling me to look up? Or are you guys talking to each other? So going straight to the box. America first. Simple question. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling America first? Third Eye Tide. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, so America first. Are you feeling it?
No, absolutely not. I voted for Trump 3 times. It's a huge disappointment. I don't really know what to say. I really don't.
Why are you?
He's not America first on anything that I can see.
Why are you disappointed in Trump? What has he done what were you expecting compared to what you feel like you're getting?
Well, he was supposed to stop the wars in Ukraine, right? He was supposed to eliminate the deep state. He brought in the Bush era. He was supposed to release all the Epstein files. We've all seen the chaos around that. He was supposed to get rid of the IRS. He's not doing that. And he was supposed to end the Russia-Ukraine war, and he's still funding that. I mean, that's just the beginning of it. He ran on that. So that's not just like we were assuming that. He ran on those things.
It's interesting you would say that, Third Eye, because I get a hell of a lot of MAGA on this program. A lot of my beloved MAGA will swear up and down this is the best president we've had, at least in our lifetime, if not in America's history. What are they seeing that you're not?
There's America first, and then there's a Trump cult.
Explain the difference.
Well, the difference is that America first we are truly America first. They're just Trumpers. They don't care what he does. They literally sound like the left under Biden to me. Like everything is fine. What are you talking about? Prices are low, blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing, just on the other side.
Wow. That's so has he done anything good for America in your opinion?
Not that I've seen, no.
The border, come on. It's
a half-assed job. It's a half-assed job. You see stories out there about people disappearing. Is that true? I don't know, right? But we shouldn't even have stories like that. And then these are hundreds of stories. We should not have people saying that. And this is not from NBC or ABC or nothing. This is people on X, on Facebook, in these different groups that are talking about these things. It's just on and on. So it's a half-assed job.
Wow. I'm going to ask you a strong question here, because I know if you voted for Trump 3 times, you're certainly no liberal. But I guess I'd ask, do you regret?
I'm not.
Fair enough. But do you regret your vote?
No. I can say that I regret voting. If I know what I know, if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have voted. I don't vote for Democrats. I'm not on the left at all. But if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have voted at all.
What about the other 9? You had everybody from Nikki Haley to Ron DeSantis was in that, Chris Christie was in that, Tim Scott, Vivek. Did you see any of those that you wish you would have maybe went with?
No, because they're not America first.
So
I'm America first, America only.
Wow. Appreciate that, blue one.
Until we fix the problems in this country, I am America only. And I'm going to tell you something. And you're going to see this in the 26 midterms, in the 28 general election. You're going to see a huge shift. You're going to see a lot of people leaving the right, going more towards the middle. They're especially with these Gen Z and millennials, they're America only. You can go to X and see it. TikTok's more culty, I think, but you can see it all over X.
Well, speaking of that topic, I want to ask you something about Congress. But before I do, in the comments on YouTube, Mark says gas is down, groceries are down in my area, and I'm way better off with Trump. That's a Trump supporter.
That's a lie. Groceries are not down. They're full. Eggs. Everybody, I've never seen so many people eat so many eggs. I mean, stop. It's ridiculous. I live in North Carolina. Gas was $2.83 to $2.90 under Biden. It's $2.63 to $2.73 now. It's not life-changing. Stop the bullshit.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'll agree. Gas is down, but I'll agree with your statement. You said it well. It's not life-changing, but I get MAGA viewers that are saying groceries are down. He said,
no, they're not.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
Maybe, what about, is it possible it could be down maybe in his area and not yours?
I'd like to know where he's getting them from. I mean, there's only a few people that supply groceries, right? It's kind of monopolized.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, Trump is saying that shit. What do you say? The price of Thanksgiving dinner was 25% less this year. That's what Trump said.
Trump is no different than Biden. He doesn't have any idea what the hell is going on. Susie Wiles is running that show. Nobody gets to Trump except for Susie. And she just tells him and he believes it.
Wow, wait a minute. That was the signature statement about Biden. He's getting dementia. He don't know what the hell he's doing. He's using auto pen. You're telling me Trump, our current commander in chief, doesn't know what he's doing?
I don't know if he has dementia or not. I don't know. I don't see that. I can't stand to hear him talk anymore. But to be honest, I mean, I don't feel like he's running the show. This is not a 2016 term. This is not the Trump that I know. He comes out talking about everything is cheaper. No, it's not. No, it's not. And, I mean, my light bill's high as hell, right? Groceries still high as hell. You know, these wars still going on. He's talking about I ended 8 wars. What are you talking about?
No, I'm curious.
It's ridiculous.
I'm curious. What part of the country? Because I've heard some MAGA viewers that say they're a little bit unhappy with this or that. But you're probably one of the strongest flippers I've heard. What part of the country are you in, if I may ask?
I'm in North Carolina.
I think you just said that. Wow. So I mean, I haven't. You're the first Trump supporter that I've heard that is this disgruntled. I mean, it's common to hear people that are not quite happy with the candidate they chose, but you're the first one I've heard that is you're not liberal, but you're about as disgruntled as one almost sounds
well,
like.
I can be realistic, right? They're still trying to, dance with Trump, but I'm not.
Yeah, Mr. New York Long Island in the comments says she don't know what she's talking about.
I don't go to the grocery store. You know who don't go to the grocery store? Trump.
True.
That's who doesn't go to the grocery store.
So what are you saying? He's
right. So Susie Wiles tells him, well, like this is down and that's down, and he comes out there to the podium and says it. I go to the grocery store. I pay a light bill every month. I pay car insurance. None of this stuff has went down. Stop lying to yourselves. You sound like the left under Biden. It's ridiculous.
Wow. And I see in the comments, Will G says Trump MAGA ain't shit. He says Vance said white don't have to apologize for being white if there was any indication of wanting ethnic cleansing. Well, I don't know. The
only thing that Vance is trying to do is be the next Trump, and it's not going to work. He's trying to start the rhetoric that Trump started in 2015. You know what I mean? Kind of like because they know they're going to America only. These kids are following like Fuentes and stuff like that. Like I pay attention to the kids because they're really like focused in on buying a house and having a family. They're pissed off about 50-year mortgages and 15-year car loans and 600,000 Chinese students while he took away their grad loans. Right?
Now I'm hearing you. Now I'm hearing you. That's shocking. I'm hearing you talking about 50-year mortgages. I heard Trump say you talk about 15-year car loans and all this stuff. I'm gonna ask you a simple question. Like I said, I know you're not left, but based on what you're saying, who was better for the economy between Trump and Biden? Everybody thought Biden's economy sucked, but who, in your opinion, based on what you're saying, who was worse for America's economy between those two?
I have to go with what my husband says. And look, I'm just a medical coder and biller. So I mean, it doesn't really affect me either way, but my husband's a lineman. And he says that the economy's better under Democrats.
Jeez. Now, did he vote for Trump as well?
He doesn't, yes, but regret, like only by my persuasion. He doesn't, he's never been a Trumper. Okay. So I dragged him to the polls in 24, begged him, "You got to save the country. Oh my God, blah blah blah." But
so you fucked him up. You messed him up. He's probably unhappy with you, right?
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it usually works the other way around. Usually, it's the wife that follows the choices of the husband. You must be pretty assertive at home, but you don't fuck this poor guy up. Wow.
Well, no, no, we both work and stuff, but my husband's like a blue collar and he's pretty anti-government. Like, he doesn't like any of them. He thinks they're all full of shit.
Yeah, but blue collar, we're talking about minimum wage increase, unions, and health care for employees. Why would he vote red? I mean, they're against all that stuff.
Well, because he's not in a union. He's not a union lineman.
Okay, but I'm sure he knows union linemen work. I mean, they get paid more. Their jobs are more secure.
Only up north, not here though. Not in North Carolina. Only up. I mean, Duke Energy is part of the state. Their union, the other half isn't. North Carolina is very weird, but up north they make a shit ton of money. Yeah.
Yeah. So in your area, are there any union linemen at all?
Only with Duke Energy.
Oh, and they don't make anything more.
They only get 40 hours a week, which is, I mean, and my husband likes the OT, which is why he voted for, that's what he was persuaded on, was the no tax on overtime. And then he was like, a fucking tax credit. That's, well, I mean, he went off on that shit. And I kept trying to convince him when I was still with Trump. I was like, no, just wait. It's not what it is. He was like, bullshit. That's exactly what it is. That's what the fuck they just said. I told you, blah, blah, blah.
So, so considering that Trump's only been in office a little bit less than a year, and you voted for him, is there anything he can do to redeem himself in your eyes?
No, not at this point.
Wow.
No, I'm done with him.
You know you're gonna be called a rhino if you showed up at the rally, right?
I don't care. I mean, I lost almost 100,000 followers when I left MAGA because MAGA really is a cult. And when I left MAGA and wasn't fucking with Trump anymore, they came after my accounts and all this and all that. They really are a cult. I don't care. I'm willing to sacrifice that to speak the truth against this administration. It is what is happening. It is realistic. And if people get off of the MAGA algorithm, they will see truth. The one thing about Trump is when he came out in 2015 and he said, you know, fake news, fake news, fake news. What I have learned is every damn thing is not fake news. Not everybody is lying, okay? Not everybody around the world is lying. He said that so that you only focus on MAGA media and then you just stay brainwashed in this culty ass mindset. I regret it so much.
Wow.
I do.
Now,
I would not have voted for Kamala Harris. I'm not a Democrat, but
right.
I regret advocating for Trump the way
now,
I did.
now, Tom on my YouTube says she doesn't know what a cult means. So explain to my MAGA viewers, so maybe just so they can be clear that they're not in what you're suggesting. Why do you call it a cult?
The fact that they literally sit here and say that groceries are cheaper and they go to the grocery store, that's ridiculous. That is insane to me. The fact that they're bragging about gas being 10 or 15 cents cheaper, it's not life-changing. Car insurance has not went down. The Russia-Ukraine war is still going on. Palestine and Israel still going on. And Trump is still funding it. And oh my God, when Biden was in office, MAGA was raising hell about it. But now, silence, nothing, crickets. That is a cult, dude. It is a culty-ass mindset.
I guess one thing I want to ask you, I think I kind of know the answer, but I'll go ahead and get your spiel on this. What do you think of Marjorie Taylor Greene?
I'm not a big fan of her. I've always thought she was kind of weird, but she's, as far as, you know, what Trump did to her, it's wrong. I went to 3 Trump rallies. She was at every single one. She was faithful to Trump. She was faithful to MAGA, and he betrayed her. And then you got another thing that pisses me off about MAGA is they'll say, you know, you betrayed Trump. Excuse me, but Trump is the president of the United States. I have no loyalty to him.
Wow.
He has to be loyal to us. And that is another culty mindset that MAGA has. We don't owe him loyalty. He owes us loyalty.
Wow. I didn't expect this, Third Eye. I got it moving on, but wow, this has been an interesting, because I don't get many guests like you. I do get MAGA, I do get liberals, I do get some disgruntled. The way you're orating it, I mean, I'm feeling it. A lot of my guests believe you're lying your ass off. I don't buy that.
I'm not lying my ass off. I don't care. I don't care what people on TikTok think. Okay, and Snuggles, I see you in the comments. Love you to death, dude. But let me tell you something. I am not that person anymore. I have woken up. Do you understand? And you need to wake up too.
Now, obviously, you know other Trump supporters. Have any of them woke up?
Nope.
Damn.
Nope. And what's so crazy is a lot of them agree with what I'm saying, but because of their virtual friends, they're too scared to say it. They're too scared of losing their virtual friends. Not everybody can be Maverick. Not everybody puts two middle fingers up in the air to MAGA and says, fuck Trump. But Maverick does. You damn right I do, because what he's doing is wrong. He is not America first, period. There is nothing that he is doing. You sound like the left under Biden. It is ridiculous.
Wow. All right, Maverick. Wow. Come on back anytime. I appreciate you coming through. Your opinion is certainly welcome here. Thank you.
See you, dude.
Anytime. Moving on with the program. Like I said, we don't blackmail or censor anyone. If she had been pro-MAGA, she would have been fine here as well. I wasn't expecting that. I think that's our first time talking. Wow. That was deep. That was different. There are some people that are unhappy with Trump, but most MAGA are definitely happy with Trump. So to hear someone vote for Trump 3 times and then go in that direction, that was different. I see JPT Farm says that is refreshing. That is unusual. As she even stated herself, she knows plenty of MAGA supporters like she was, and none of them have flipped. So she is unusual even in her own environment. Even in her own environment, people, according to her, are unhappy with Trump, but they're still on the Trump train. I didn't expect that. Anyway, looking in the comments, someone said crazy calling people a cult, says Dansberg. Well, I've never heard somebody come out and say, hi, my name is John, I'm in a cult. Fact is, there are cults in America. Some would suggest that Scientology is a cult. Many people believe that. None of them are going to tell you they're in a cult, right? I don't even think the Jim Jones folks, before they took the last sip of that drink, would have told you we're in a cult. People are not going to tell you that. So whether or not they're in one, it's up to you to look at what you're looking at and come to your own conclusion, because they're not going to admit it. They're just not. All praises to the ladies, says Mr. G, says Will G. Anyhow, going back to the box, and thank you, Will. Good to see you in there. Trump ordering Bondi to scrub his name off the PDF files. This makes Watergate look like a joke. Yeah, look, we've talked about that. My guess is those files, you're never going to get to the bottom of them. After 3 years of the Trump administration, the best we're probably going to end up getting is somebody that is in his administration that are going to testify eventually under oath that we destroyed some shit. That's probably what's going to end up happening is down the line, maybe after Trump is no longer president, or even maybe he's passed on. Somebody under oath is going to testify that we were ordered to destroy some shit. You're never going to get all of that information. It's pretty clear they are resistive. And I don't think, and that's what my last caller was saying. That's another reason she cited unhappiness with President Trump, is that, that was one of his promises, or at least people were led to believe that under Trump, you were going to get transparency. They're not being transparent about that. But continuing on with the show, and tap the screen, folks, get the likes on up to 25,000, if you will. He don't care. Supreme Court gave him a free pass. Not totally free, but they absolutely did aid and abet him with that immunity. There's still a few crimes he could commit, but look, at this point, he also can pardon himself. Is that not true? So Trump will be fine. And there's nothing going to happen to Trump. He's going to live to be an old man, super duper wealthy. But the people around him, different story. I didn't vote for Trump. It's not being loyal to Trump. It's being happy with the prices down on everything. Says Gander in. Is that what's happening in your neck of the woods, Gander? Is that prices are down on everything right now? Is that what you're seeing? Because I'd be curious to know what part of the country you're in where prices are down on everything. I haven't heard anybody suggest that. Continuing on with the program, the prices are not fucking down, says Gangsta Grandma. Yeah, Gander is lying, says Takesha. Yeah, I like to know where you at, where the prices are down on everything. That's what my last caller was suggesting. That indicates cult-like. So I don't know, but where are you at? But her emails, Trump might have taken a page. What do you mean by that, Mr. G? Dinkow, good evening. Welcome to the program. Groceries are high as hell. Yeah, I just came from grocery shopping a couple hours ago, and meat is fucking off the chain, especially if you want a steak. I like to have a good steak once a week. To get a T-bone, you're talking $20 to $25 for a piece of raw meat. Dinkow, good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, so did you hear my last caller?
Yeah, and she's renewed my faith in humanity.
Wow, I wasn't expecting
There are
that.
people out there that have woken up to what it is, and now that they're outside of the bubble, they can see what's going on inside of it. It's really refreshing to hear somebody come out and say what the majority of us already know.
What she was saying, though, first thing I'm thinking is this lady is lying ass off. She's some liberal posing as trying to play the game and posing as MAGA. But I asked her, I threw everything I could at her to see if she fell apart. She was strong. She held. I believe her. I actually believe her.
Yeah, she said she lost about 100,000 followers and was talking about the people that's in it that she knows, like through her association with MAGA. Yeah, she was. Wasn't nothing fake about that.
I tried, man. I'm like, I know this girl is telling her. This woman is lying her ass off. Some liberal trying to down Trump or whatever. But yeah, the way she orated that. I feel fairly confident that she voted for Trump 3 times, like she said, and she's unhappy. Because she even gave legitimate reasons for why she voted for him, what he promised, and where he's failed at. But the cult thing, to call MAGA a cult, my comment section went apeshit, saying that she's wrong for that. She don't know what the hell she's talking about. All of that.
Right. Well, I mean, that's an important part. But the other part that got me was that she was able to convince somebody else to vote against their own interests, like her husband.
Yeah.
She brought him to the poll, kicking and screaming. Probably told him he wasn't going to get no coup d'etat. Probably told him he wasn't going to get no coup d'etat if he didn't come on in there and do the thing.
So he was in a cult too. He needed that.
he was cult adjacent. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't in the cult, but he went to the cult gathering, but he really wasn't listening,
But I asked that question on yesterday's show. I asked the viewers, could you be in a serious long-term relationship with somebody that was 180 degrees of your politics? Like you did, Cal. Would you be okay if the woman you were with, you fall in love with is MAGA?
No.
You get rid of her because of how she voted.
Right, because personally, I believe that a lot of the things they're doing is against my own interests. So we can't, I don't understand how we can be in lust together, but not somebody I really love. Like if they down with somebody, now that the unemployment rate is up to 8.4 for Black people, like 300,000 Black women have been kicked out of government, like voting for stuff like that, I can't get with that. There's no justification in my mind.
The crazy thing is I have yet to hear any, what they call them, Black MAGA. All Black MAGA still is happy with President Trump. I've talked to them all the time. Black MAGA is still on the train. So they don't see it the way you do.
Yeah, I think because they already attached, they hitched their trailer to MAGA. That's how they've been making their money by that. I don't think that they want to let go of their livelihood. Did you see old Officer Tatum over there crying because he didn't get invited to the TP?
They keep shunning his ass. I mean, they didn't invite him to the funeral. They don't give a fuck about you, dude.
He talking about he said I'm the most God-fearing religious one of all of them, and they didn't even elect.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't normally use I normally get these terms thrown at me like, what do they call it? Uncle Ruckus or sellout or Uncle I don't normally use terms like cooning, but that right there, when they not invite you to the funeral and now your ass is crying because they didn't invite you to the event, they don't give a fuck about you, dude.
Did you see the other guy from the social media thing, the Fresh and Fit? The other guy, he's like, I don't think he's Black. I don't know if he's Indian or something, but he's always, talking this MAGA stuff and disrespecting Black people and everything. They showed him, they wouldn't let his ass in that American Fest either. But he was on the phone trying to call people to get in. And they sent about 3-4 bodyguards. They was like, look, they don't allow Muslims. They don't allow Muslims.
But you know something, some of that rhetoric caused Ben Shapiro, Vivek was up there talking about, because Nick Fuentes has said Hitler is cool, and Vivek Ramaswamy's like, if this guy is saying something like that, he shouldn't have any part of our party. So some of them in that party are pointing out the fact that, yes, we have some anti-Semites and racists in our party, and we need to, but unfortunately, the people that are pointing it out, they happen to be minorities. So they're going to probably, Vivek might find themselves hanging out with the fitness guy you're talking about. But they are bringing it up. Like, there are racists in this party. Obviously, Vivek was defending J.D. Vance's wife more than J.D. Vance was. But they pointed out, like, we got some racist motherfuckers in this group. You guys need to say something about this.
And the other part is they was really beefing about the I guess the Christians versus the Jews. And the weirdest part about that, man, is they all combine themselves to make up MAGA. But what they don't acknowledge is that the Jews think all Christians is going to hell, and all the Christians think the Jews is going to hell because you can only worship one God. So if your religion says either be down with our religion or you going to hell. Now the Jews don't, the Jews.
Is that true that the Jewish people believe that Christians are damned to hell? And I didn't know, and vice versa. Christians believe that Jews.
No, listen, think about it. There should be no other. Thou should be no
other God before me. Yeah,
for me, right?
Yeah.
So just think about it. The Jews don't even believe that Jesus was God. They believe he was just a important person, but not ordained, not the deity. So these are two conflicting religions, but they all come across together because they all are white. So they all cool until you really start talking about like what it is they believe. So it's just the oddest thing to me.
And see, this is why I'm not very religious, because it is very judgmental like that. In the comments, though, Alter Ego says that's not true at all. Now, my last caller said they believe Jesus is in hell. Damn, God.
I'm just saying, it ain't me. I'm just saying, I'm like you. I'm on the outside looking. I'm not a very religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I believe in a greater being in this world, but all of that stuff that was written down by man, I can't get with it, because I know man knows how to use propaganda to achieve dominance and superiority. So I don't believe in none of that shit.
Something, my prayers are going to start to consist like something to the nation of, whoever you are out there, if you listening to me, send me a book, because this shit they got down here, I ain't believing in. If you can hear me, whoever you are, your name is Lord, Messiah, whatever, if you can hear me, send me something to follow, because I'm not buying this shit they got me talking about now.
I mean, look, when you get a chance and you talk to some of your MAGA friends, some of them that are Christians, and if you
they all are Christians,
just ask them. Just ask them, like, do you think Jews, you know what I'm saying?
But aren't some MAGA also, aren't some Jewish people gangsta grandma? Y'all appreciate it. Ain't some gangsta grandma? Ain't some Jews also MAGA? And by the way, in the comments, Alien says, "Welcome to reality." I can only applaud her in regards to my last guest. A lot of folks are saying the same thing you are, but aren't some Jewish people MAGA as well? I mean, hell, Netanyahu, go ahead.
Yeah, didn't you see them just beefing with Ben Shapiro on the same stage?
Yeah.
Yes. But now they crowding them out because Ben Shapiro is like, we should let Nick Fuentes have no,
Yeah, how the hell could you be a party that is supporting the Jewish people and Holocaust deniers? Same way. That's like when they say the Democrat Party is the racist party. So you got they say the Democrat Party is the party of KKK, but also they're the party of Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson in the civil rights. That makes no sense at all.
Right. While actively the KKK is actually voting for them.
Yeah, but they swear up and down at the KKK because it was started by the Dixiecrats or whatever. They swear up and down that the KKK and all of the racists are on the Democrat side, and then of course all the civil rights leaders are also like they don't. These people don't play together. You don't throw African Sicklets in there with Oscars. Something wrong when you try to say that shit. So, but they're saying, but to have Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro sharing the stage or at the same party, that don't make no sense.
And they was in there, I mean, they was like beefing. They was getting up there like it was like the East and the West rap beefing, you know. They was in there.
Who do you think's gonna win out? Who do you think the party more closely aligns with? Nick Fuentes or Ben Shapiro?
Oh, that's gonna be a tough fight because the donors, the real money donors, are the Jewish people.
Ooh.
They're the ones who donate everything to TPU, USA, and all of that shit, and Trump and everything. But then the evangelicals, like, they run the majority of the party. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But what I do know is going to be a fracturing enough, and I've been saying this for a while, it's enough fracturing that this could be a generational midterm. This could be a generational midterm to swing.
That's what I talked. That's why I mentioned a partition earlier. I don't think you were in here for the monologue, but I mean, I got one for you though. Nicki fucking Minaj. What the hell is that about?
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you what you thought of that because
I don't know. I know Lil Wayne is pissed.
Who got to her? I don't know who got to her. But the weird thing about it is Charlie Kirk used to talk shit about her at his rallies. He used to lump her and Cardi B in together and say they were a scourge on Black youth. So it's odd that she would be sitting there with his wife telling them that they don't have to be ashamed and that they're beautiful too. It's weird, man. I don't know.
Well, listen, I can kind of understand people wanting to get close to the MAGA movement. It's certainly at the top of the upper echelons. So there's a lot of money at the upper echelons of MAGA. And like, even though she don't really fucking need it, but getting near Trump, money can rub off. I mean, I'm talking, buku money can rub off. Now, in Nicki Minaj's case, though, there hasn't been many Black celebrities whose primary customer base are Black people that affiliated with MAGA and been able to keep their customer base. So, look, if you're Candace Owens or Larry Elder or the Hodge twins or somebody where your primary base is not minorities, you can do it. But Nicki Minaj, most of her base is Black people. I gotta assume she lost some stock value after that.
Oh, I'm sure she's gonna lose her. What do they call them? Barbies or whatever her fan bases are. Yeah, I'm sure she's gonna lose a lot of them. But I believe that she's in it for political reasons. I believe she's looking for something for Trump.
How about this? In the comments, someone just said. In the comments, Crystal says she wants a pardon for her brother. I'm not aware of what condition.
Oh yeah. Her brother, her husband is a convicted rapist.
Yes, he is. I do know about that.
And so that, and her brother is, I'm not sure of his situation, but I believe he's in jail for like homicide or something like. So yeah, I could probably see that she's in it for that, because I think her husband, he might have violated his parole because he didn't register as a sex offender when he moved from New York to California or whatever. But yeah, she's got some ulterior motives. But she was in there talking about how handsome Trump was. Like, yeah, she was rubbing it on thick.
Well, that's how you get to Trump, is rub it on thick. I mean,
and about $1 million, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, if that's what she's doing, then I guess I can't hate on her, because that's why they said that Snoop Dogg performed at Trump's inaugural ball, is because he had somebody that he needed to get pardoned. So Trump does sell pardons. I think we can all agree that you can buy a pardon from President Trump, whether it's through, you just floundering with him, just being, when they say flattery will get you everywhere, just flatter him or put money in the right place. But you can buy pardons from President Trump.
And then when you say that, and then the people like MAGA, they hear it, they know it's true, and they still be like he's the greatest ever. Like they listen to us say what they know is true, that he sells pardons to people, and he don't care if you a rapist, a murderer. He don't care.
Ooh.
If you kiss his tail and you shoot him about $1 million,
I'm under the impression the man didn't take a salary. And I see Elwan says majority of Nicki Minaj's fan base is the LGBTQ community. Oh, she gonna really lose some fans if that's the case. But I'm hearing that Trump didn't take a salary, didn't Cal, and he don't need money. So why is he able to be bought in terms of pardons if he don't really need money and ain't even taking a salary?
Well, I'll answer that question, but I'll utilize somebody else. The richest man in the history of the world is Elon Musk.
Right.
He passed what used to be the richest man in the world, Mansa Musa. They estimated Mansa Musa, his wealth to be around $400 billion, but this was like hundreds of years ago. This man gets up every day trying to figure out how to make more fucking money.
I think he's trying to just reach that trillion label just to say, at this point, it's all about, okay, you're ahead of the race. You're a lap or two ahead of all the other runners. Now you're just trying to say, I want to see if I can beat the fastest time that somebody ever had. So he's running after that now.
Well, he already beat that. Now he's talking about mold, like, what do they call it? Like societal changes. He's trying to figure out how to change society to fit his worldview. And that's more than money could ever think. But he gets up every day. So rich people, Warren Buffett, like he's damn near 100 years old. He's just not stepping down.
Does Elon know? I mean, listen, some of these wealthy folks, like Jeff Bezos' wife, is sharing a ton of money. Bill Gates and his wife is planning to donate all. Is Elon Musk known to be charitable? I've never heard of him I've never heard of any type of charity other than him, giving money to people who sign a petition to vote. But I ain't never heard of him. I haven't heard of anything about him being charitable at all.
No, he's like Trump. Like they'll donate so they can get a tax break. Like they're not donating because they want to help society. Because it was one other rich person that told him with the amount of money that he got, he could end world hunger. And he said, well, if somebody gives me a feasible plan, I'll consider it. Which he does have enough money where he could literally help feed the world if he wanted to.
I mean, shit, when you think about the cheap shit that they give folks just to keep them from starving, like in Africa and stuff like that, we're talking about grain, wheat, and flour. You got almost $1 trillion. You can buy a whole lot of fucking grain. So he probably could end world hunger. I mean, you buying that cheap shit in bulk like that and you showing up with that kind of money? Yeah, he could probably end world hunger.
Yeah, I think that once people get to that point, I think, some people lean towards, being philanthropists, and some people lean towards just accumulation of wealth and power.
Well, he definitely seems like he's doing a really good job accumulating wealth and power. Real quick before I let you go, what do you think about, now I did the monologue. You weren't here, but I talked about, us being America first, which is why you see that. And I asked folks, do you feel like you're America first? And I gave all of these things. Just today, President Trump announced they're going to have Trump-class Navy vessels. Could be as many as 40 of these. The Golden Fleet. Now, I also covered him, the F-47, the jet. He talked about that earlier this year. There's a Trump card coming out for immigration purpose. I think it's like $5 million a pop or something like that. Trump RX. He's bringing down drugs. Obviously, he gets his own jet with the Qatar jet. Trump's Kennedy Center, that's now on, his name is now on that as well. He also has the ballroom. What the hell is going on? Why is his name on all this shit?
He's winning, man. He is winning. But the thing is, the people in his cult they attach themselves. Like, I got a friend that thinks he's MAGA, or he says he's MAGA. Mm-hmm. When I say something about Trump, he immediately takes offense, as if I'm talking to him. Like, they internalize everything that's said. Like, when somebody said, Biden doesn't know where the hell he's at, I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting offended.
That is true. That is true. MAGA does take criticism of Trump fairly personal. You got Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, they do. They do not like you criticizing Trump. I got to move it on, DeKal. But
All right,
so, are we
okay,
looking at a Trump world?
Oh yeah. And look, and when I called him this name the other day, he was pissed off. I called Trump Napton America.
Napton? Explain that.
He always.
Oh, he's taking naps. He's taking naps. It went over my head for a minute. Nap. Okay. Give me tab. I'm getting old. DeKal, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Anytime. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. I always enjoy talking to DeKal. Charles Mathis, thank you for the support. Appreciate that, Charles. You have to adjust Mansa Musa's money for inflation. I'm sure he is still the richest. Damn, how much money was this motherfucker worth? Because they're talking about Elon's going to soon be worth $1 trillion. I want to ask you guys something before I move on to the next caller and continue the show on. And by the way, tap the screen, get us up to 40,000. We can take it at that point. You enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle? Congratulations, you're in the right place. We are MAGA friendly. We will remain MAGA friendly as we always have for now until eternity. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program. So if you enjoy hearing everyone without any censorship or the host trying to dictate how you should talk or think, feel free to follow the program if you're watching us live right now on Instagram, if you're watching us live on X or TikTok. And if you're watching us live on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here most weeknights. Merry Christmas to you all as it comes up. We may have another show before the actual unveiling of Santa. And it depends on, Christmas is one of those things where it depends on if you are expecting to receive shit from Santa or if you are expecting to have to play Santa. Because it's not as festive of a holiday if you got to play Santa. That just means coming up off of that cash. At that point, you're kind of hoping for January 2nd to hurry up and get here and get these holidays over. But Christmas is for the young at heart. I saw that in the comments. Wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, look, I'm a January 2nd kind of guy. I'm feeling a little bit festive. Good eating, things like that. But I'm getting days off work just like everybody else. I like the fact that I can chill at home. And this time it's like 3 days because of where Christmas is placed. New Year's, Christmas Day, and we actually get Friday off as well. So 5-day weekend, I like that. But the money you have to spend buying gifts and shit like that, playing Santa is not as fun as waiting for Santa. Anyway, looking in the comments, did DJ Julio ever pay you? No, Juice. No, it did not happen. You've been around for a while, Juice, to remember that, but no, that never happened. Trump is better than Santa. Wow. One of my viewers said Trump is better than Santa. So I guess I'll ask you guys all in the comments to state in the comments, what gift are you expecting to get from Santa this year? Trump is better than Santa, somebody said. Merry Christmas, everyone, even the TDS folks. Thank you for the input there. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen, get us up to 40,000. St. Nicholas Lone Brother. What do you think about Nick Fuentes? I'm curious. I think Nick Fuentes' opinion is fairly evident. I mean, he leans very far to the right. And by the way, this is the kind of stuff when I get my beloved MAGA viewers who I enjoy talking to. It's hard to watch you. You're going too far to the left. This ain't the handsome liberal we were used to enjoy. You're getting too woke or too progressive. And I always say, no, I am in the same spot on the political table that I've always been, slightly left of center. I'm not, AOC Bernie Sanders left, but I'm slightly left of center. It seems like I'm going too progressive because you guys are moving too fucking far to the right. Trump's first term, it didn't come across as if it had room for the likes of Nick Fuentes and all of that shit. Now they seem to be somewhat embracing them. The party is going further and further to the right, whether we're talking the immigration stance, whether we're talking the anti-LGBTQ stance, some of the stuff that's being said about minorities, and to the point where you got Ben Shapiro up there being complaining about it, and Vivek Ramaswamy is complaining about it. The Trump 2.0, Trump's second administration is much further right than it was the first time. So I'm in the same spot I was in. The Trump party is just further down the highway. So I look further to the left because you guys have moved much further to the right. I mean, Trump 1.0, I used to be able to debate back and forth and spar back and forth with my African American viewers about things that Trump has done to help the black community. I don't have shit to bring up for the second one. I don't have nothing. Even when you listen to MAGA talk about things that Trump has done for the black community, it all comes from his first term. There's nothing there. I don't have shit to throw out there. So it is a bit different in this second term, and I appreciate that. Blue One Banks, thank you for helping your boy reach that TikTok cap goal. Help your boys top that off. Thank you. Looking in the comments, fascist right says Cakes. I'm gonna go with Cakes. I can't pronounce the first name. I don't mind playing Santa. Me and my wife play Santa for about 600 kids a year. Wow. God bless you. Says 600 kids a year. We give out bicycles and baby dolls, and you name it. If you got it, share. I like that, Charles. We need more of that in America. We need more of that. That's good stuff. That's good. You make me want to, right now I've been donating to politicians. I'm going to be honest with you. Now that the midterms are coming up, I get emails every day to donate to politicians. And I've had to block a couple of these motherfuckers like, okay, I donated $20 to you. Leave me the fuck alone. Some of these people, when you donate, that just make them call you more. So maybe I need to donate to some starving kids as opposed to donating to some inspiring members of Congress. So 20 years ago, you thought men can be women, or you further left now? I still don't think men can be women, Ed G. I still don't believe. Look, if I see if somebody wants to transition and dress like the opposing sex, I don't see any reason to pass laws that say they can't do it, but I'm not going to call that person. If I know you got male genitalia, and my brother go, do you know this person? I'm not going to tell him, yeah, she. I'm going to be using he. That's me. That's how I'm going to address it. Now, if that person wants me to call them she or something, I'm going to probably call them or call them by their actual name. You can change your fucking name. If you want to go from Jose to Janet, I'll call you Janet. But yeah, I don't believe in saying that a person that still has male genitalia is a woman. That's just me. But I still consider myself an ally to that person because I'm not going to hinder what they want to do. I'm fine with them doing it. I just don't believe that you can change from a man to a woman. That's just my take on it. That's unpopular to some, I'm sure, but that's my take. Looking in the comments, but you can also have a 500% discount either. For the grade, I don't know what you mean there. I'll go back to the box. Trump acts like he's still running for office. James Harper is worked for President Trump. I say this all the time, even in conjunction with me, and I'm about, almost 30 years younger than Trump, but it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. Trump blaming Biden, saying everything is a hoax, calling all media fake, and constantly holding campaign rallies is what has got him political success. It's worked. So if you're not going to fix something that ain't broke, that has worked. That is, I've been to a couple of Trump rallies. I know the hype you feel when you leave those. I understand why he's doing it, but you're right. He does seem like he's still constantly campaigning for office. It is what it is. Gangsta Grandma. Good evening, Gangsta.
I can't stand your motherfucking ass. I gave you 2,000 points, and you're all here saying, I would never call a trans woman a woman. Well, you're not a fucking ally. Keep your black ass somewhere else. Wait a
minute. I don't have any problem with a man that wants to identify as a woman or go around as a woman. I'm not going to pass any laws. I don't care if they go in the bathroom. I'm just going to admit if somebody asks me, that is a dude under those clothes. Now, I'm wrong for saying that?
Yes, you ain't no fucking ally. You a whole bitch. But your mama made you too.
Well, at least I'm more of a bitch than the dude with the dick.
No, you are a bitch. You are. Your mama should have swallowed you. But hey, that's my personal opinion, right?
Wait a minute. So
if you have a personal opinion, you ain't no fucking ally. So don't come to our side and say you're a fucking ally. You're not. Because I am part of the LGBTQ community. You ain't no fucking ally. You a whole bitch.
I'll tell you something, Gangsta. I think you said don't come to your side. I think your side is why the Democrats lost the election. You're part of why they lost.
No. The reason why we lost is because of racism. Why we lost is because the fucking idiots didn't want a woman in office. Because they swear to God that women need stuck in their place, being cooking, cleaning, and being mommies and getting knocked the fuck up. That's what they want us to be.
I think
I can't be nice.
you got people that don't like you. This is not TikTok. There's somebody to watch that don't like you. That's what
Well,
it is.
you know what? They don't like the truth, though.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something in regards to what you stated. In regards to me being a quantified whole bitch. If you know a guy that still has a penis, you actually would call that person a woman.
If she identifies as a woman, I call her a woman.
Then
Why go all out and call him a he when they're trans? See, this is what I don't understand. Why people always go after the less than 1%. Leave them the hell alone.
I am leaving them
Who you have
alone.
to worry about? You know who you have to worry about is you. I'm sorry. You're more of a threat than the trans people are. The cis people, cis white teen men, they are you know what I mean? They're the rapists.
Well,
We have to worry about you guys. We're not worried about trans people. They don't do nothing to us. I'm more safer with the trans woman in the bathroom than I am with you.
I will say this: I do leave them alone. They don't leave some of us
I
alone.
can't tell.
Hold on, let
You
me
just
let
let
me
it
let me
fall out.
explain to you what I'm talking about. I'm not going to vote for any laws that hinder your life or any of that. But when you start telling me what I got to call you, I'm like, leave me alone. I ain't got nothing to do with you.
Respect.
What?
It's called respect. It's called respect. If you don't know your pronouns, then you failed first grade. You know what I mean? You failed kindergarten.
So then,
If somebody says, please respect my pronouns, she or he or respect, then do it.
how about
If you can't do that, then shut the fuck up and don't talk about
how
it.
about respect?
Just move the fuck on.
How about respecting my eyes and my education? I was tired of penis means man. Hey, respect my education.
If they identify as a woman and they look like a fucking woman, just give them that respect. That's all that's all they ask for is that they just want respect. They don't bother nobody.
How about this?
They do not bother nobody, numbnut.
How about this phrase? This is what my late mom used to say. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. How about, as opposed to doing anything to disrespect them, you just choose not to interact or talk to them at all?
Sit your ass down somewhere and go get educated.
No, but answer that question. Would it be?
Get the fuck out.
Would it be wrong?
Quit doing this.
You're avoiding the.
Today I seen you on that white girl live, honey. You got dragged.
Okay.
See, that's why you don't have no fucking balls, man, Tim. I don't understand you. That's probably why you're not fucking married. Because your fucking wife probably had more balls than fucking you. She probably wore the fucking pants in the damn house. On God.
Okay.
Because you have no balls. I mean, where the fuck did they drop her? I mean, they didn't drop yet or something?
What do you want me to say? What would I have to say? What would I
have?
have to say to make you say yes? He has balls.
Get some fucking balls and go after the fucking maggots, man. To tear their asses up with facts. You don't. You think, I'll tell you this. Well,
They took Gangsta Grandma off, I think. Did they take her? Oh my God. Gangsta Grandma unfortunately got dropped. And by the way, yeah, for you guys that saw that live, I'm in the car, but yeah, the idea that I just go, tear in the MAGA, that's not what we do here. That's not what we do. I saw she had talking points. That's kind of what happened there, William, as well, that she did have talking points, and a lot of her talking points are not true, but she was sitting in front of the computer and I was sitting in the car, so I wasn't able to counter a lot of things she was saying, but a lot of stuff she was saying was not true. So it is what it is. Gangsta Grandma got reported, unfortunately. She's always welcome back on the program, but she's a passionate individual with strong language, and I believe personally that is not TikTok doing that. There are plenty of MAGA, because she does not spare the rod on MAGA. There are plenty of MAGA that will report you. For folks who believe that it's always the liberals that are in favor of cancel culture, no. MAGA will report you too. And that's what I believe is happening, is that it's probably some MAGA involved in that. Because it happens every time she gets on the program. She don't have to be on here very long. And all of a sudden, boom. I mean, the comment section go ape shit when she's out there, because she is talking horrible about MAGA. I get it, but I believe some of them are reporting her. Merry Christmas, says Leo Place. Thank you for the support and Merry Christmas to you. We will probably have at least one more show, but certainly Merry Christmas to all of you folks and Happy New Year. So dang you reported Gangsta Grandma, says Neil. Yeah, somebody likely reported her. It happens every time she comes up. So real quick in the comments, I see Charles Mathis says that is Gangsta Grandma. Here it comes. You can do what you want as far as identity. You can't force us to accept it. You know something, listen, if it really hurts the transgender community for you to get the pronoun wrong, as I just stated, like my mom used to say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So if you're trying to force me to say something that clearly goes against all of my education. I mean, I got, full high school run, 3 degrees on top. I've never been taught this stuff. All of this stuff is new that came along after. So I'd rather just not have a conversation with you that requires I call you some adverse pronoun. If that is not enough for that person to accept, then something's wrong with them. Okay, I'm not trying to stop you from using the bathroom or outlaw what you're doing. You can do whatever the hell you want. I'm not trying to limit what you're doing in any way, fashion, or form. You're trying to make me act a certain way. That's where there's a problem. Look, I'm not going to go around and accuse you of going in bathrooms or harm children and all that shit. I don't have any hatred towards you, but you do you, let me do me. Period. I'll address you by your actual name. If you want to go by a female name, I'll address you by your actual name. That's it. I don't see what that's wrong. I think that's fair. Now, if they want more than that, now you're trying to force me to do shit. You don't want people to force you. Now you're forcing me. So Gangsta Grandma disagrees with that. She says what I'm saying makes me less than an ally, but I disagree with her. Get the hell out of here, sis. Isaiah Thomas's trans daughter. Call it what you want. Look, I'm just gonna say Isaiah Thomas has a kid named such and such. That's it. Is that a girl to you? The person's name is this. I'll leave it up to you to figure it out. I'm not here to comment on their gender. This person's name. Because what happens if a person is trans and then all of a sudden they don't like the way they feel, or they don't like the way life has treated them, and then they transition back, and you just keep bouncing back and forth between pronouns? I don't know. I'd rather just call them by their actual name. If I had to accept you as a woman, if I have to accept you as a woman, I identify as a trillionaire with a 900 credit score. I don't think you're going to get the banks to accept your pronoun. Let me go back to the box. That's their choice. What the fuck, Luigi? 100%. It is their choice. But don't the other person have a choice as well? If your choice is to identify as a man or identify as an opposite sex or whatever the case may be, that is your choice. I don't want to interfere with you making that choice. But the person that is addressing you, don't they have choices as well? Or are you suggesting that now you should be able to control their choice in addition to your own? Control what you do, let them control what they do. How about it just being fair? How about that? Has anyone ever forced you to do that, Tim? Yes. Yes, me too. I had a debate with a transgender woman. And, on TikTok, you can see the person's picture sometimes. Some of the guests, and I'll go back to the box. Get me on up to 50,000 likes while I run this shit to you guys. But tap the screen, get the likes up. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. I had somebody I was in a debate with on TikTok. You can see the people's face on the screen. This person clearly looked like a dude or a woman, whatever it was. They looked the opposite of what the pronoun was. And the name, they even had a name that sounded the opposite. So I was constantly calling the person he and him, and this person was going off on me. Or something, actually, you know what it was? Now that I'm thinking about it more, they went by the pronouns they and them. That's what fucked me up. Is that it was a person that looked like a girl, and it was biologically a girl. This is a person that was, had a vagina and all that, but wanted to go by the pronoun them and they. So I'm having a conversation with this person and constantly referring to them as she and her. And this person is going the fuck off on me about me not getting the pronoun right. And I just told the person, I said, you got to understand, I'm in my 50s. I've always been trained or taught that they and them is a plural. That's more than one person. I'm like, if I call my boy and say, come over here, they kicking my ass, I need you to help get them off of me, and he show up and there's only one person, he might just watch me get my ass kicked. You told me they were over here kicking your ass, not this one chick. So it was hard. Listen, and I kept telling the person, because I was actually apologizing to them. I was apologizing and telling them, I want to get your pronoun right. But this goes against everything I've been taught. You would have failed English class as a Gen Xer back in school, referring to a single person as they or them. Like, your pronoun doesn't fit the logic of the English language. So you got to get people time. I said, look, this shit came along after I was already out of school. Give me some time. I'm apologizing to you. I'm trying to work with you. But damn, you just put this on me overnight. It would have been easy if you had told me to try to learn a little bit of Russian first. But damn, they and them and you one person, they didn't like what I was talking to them about. So I still have a hard time doing it. It's one individual. How about you just let me call you by your fucking name so I don't mess this up? They didn't like that. Tap the screen, get us up to 50,000. We'll go ahead and take the next caller. Your pronoun is giving multiple personality disorder. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what it was doing to me, but they didn't understand. Ed G says, to the three Judah religions that's in abomination, respect our religion and let us identify them by our beliefs. See, you wouldn't want us making you identify by what we believe. Yeah. I believe in letting you believe whatever you want to believe in and let me believe in what I want to believe in. It's just, look, you don't have to ever see me again. If I call you him and you actually want to go by her, it ain't like we roommates or some shit. Just let that shit bounce up off of you. So when you making all this extra noise about it, that people join in and start hating your ass. I mean, just let it bounce off of you. It's not like I'm preventing you from going to the bathroom or anything else. I'm not trying to pass laws that say you can't transition. Just my eyes is looking at a woman. So I'm going to say her or she for that. If you actually transition and you really look like what you transition to, don't even tell me you transition. I'm just going to naturally call you a girl or a woman. So when you go around announcing it that you cause problems. But getting back to the actual show, we weren't trying to transition into another topic. Let me go back to the box. Are you actually feeling like America first is what we're dealing with? That's what we're talking about. I will go back to the box. Snuggles, long time no here. Good evening, Snugs.
It's great seeing you. This is my birthday today, so I just wanted to come up and talk to you, handsome.
Happy birthday to
handsome,
you.
I never saw someone whip your ass like Millie did today. Millie, she handed you a dog walk today, bro. That was
okay. Listen, listen. She said a lot of things like about the 2020 election and stuff like that I'm fairly certain if I was in front of a computer, I could prove to her is not true. The way she was defending Trump's actions, talking about he had a permit to go on the Capitol steps, and that stuff ain't true. A lot of stuff she was bringing up is not true.
I have a picture of the permit.
Yeah, and they made it clear that he got a permit to protest where they
all of the Capitol.
You said what?
Inside the Capitol.
No,
he got a permit.
They didn't get. No, they didn't. They were. In fact, Trump was asked. The Capitol building is going to be off limits and closed. You're not going to the Capitol building, right? He said they were not going to do it, and they went there anyway. They were 2 miles away.
They had barricades around the Capitol before they even got there. So, but all the FBI agents that were undercover knocked those barricades over. You know that.
No, I don't know that. No, in fact, the FBI was under Trump's watch still. Biden was not president on January 6th.
Right,
so if the FBI was doing all of this stuff, who ordered them?
Garland, this was Bray. This was Director Bray's FBI. You know.
No, no. You don't. Only when Trump is in office does he start relegating responsibility and blame on all the lower people. If you're the president, that is part of your administration. If your FBI is fucking up, that's your FBI.
But he had 10,000 troops that wasn't brought out by Nancy Pelosi. You know that, bro.
I'm just going to simply say, whatever the FBI did while Trump is in office, he is responsible for that FBI.
But Jack Smith dismissed that case, right? So there really no January 6th case at all.
Jack Smith had no
It's
path going forward once he became president.
Yeah, of course, because they had no evidence because the J6 committee got.
All right, well let's get off of that because people are even in the comments.
I just was wondering.
People in the comments are warning that topic. The app doesn't like that topic. Do you feel confident though that we are in America first society right now? Do you feel like Trump is putting us above everything? Snugs, are you there? I don't know if we lost the last guest. Snugs, I'll give it a minute. All right, don't know what happened, but I'll go ahead and draft Snugs and move on. How about the Georgia votes? Yeah, like I said, some of you folks saw me debating with the girl earlier, and look, she's sitting in front of a computer and pulling up slides and pulling up documents and things like that. But just because you're pulling up shit don't mean it's accurate. And like I said, when she claims, like I brought up the fact that there is no Republican senator, Republican congressman, Republican governor that says that election went any other way than it did. And she came up with all kinds of reasons why, what she was saying was not true. And if I was sitting in front of a computer, I could have done a better job at that. Real quick in the comments, want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Thank you, Kat 2.0 says Win Handsome with Millie. Guest turned head to side and brain fell out, Mr. John. All right. He won't be missed. You guys are cruel. Nancy Pelosi has no control of the National Guard. That's a lie. I'll just say in regards to Nancy Pelosi and the National Guard, President Trump in the last 11 months has proven that he could dispatch the National Guard anywhere he wants. He has proven that. He absolutely could have flooded D.C. with the National Guard. He has proven that beyond a shadow of a doubt that he could flood the National Guard in D.C. if he wanted to. And to me, it makes no sense. If you are throwing some kind of party, and I would say party to keep the censors back, but if I'm throwing a party and I know my party needs security, why the hell would I leave it up to my arch rival to provide the security? I would expect my arch rival, being Nancy Pelosi, that is, to do an inadequate job at providing security. Why would you leave it up to her? Well, I offered her the National Guard. Why would you leave her to do it? That makes zero sense whatsoever. If you need security and you actually only have the choice of using Nancy Pelosi with the National Guard, then I would flood the place with Capitol Police and federal agents. I wouldn't trust her to provide the National Guard. After I don't said all the awful shit about her and she's behind me tearing up my speeches and shit like that. Why would you do no sort of additional checks to make sure that she's doing the job that you expect her to do or you need her to do? You guys know, she's an arch rival. Why would you we're going to just go and have a protest and we're not even going to check and see if she provided security or not. Then you're negligent. Because I even have said that, and I'll go back to the comment section or to the box, but I've said this before, that if it was Nancy's job to provide security and you show up to have this protest and you see there is no security, okay, then she's failed at her job. You don't continue the protest anyway. Then you get on the phone, this bitch did not do what she's supposed to do. Send me some agents down here. Then you make sure it's secure. No, we're going to just do it with no security and we'll just blame it on Nancy. Come on now. That's negligence. Let me go back to the box. Not even Russian Revolution did that so fast. What do you mean by that? Let me go straight to the box. I don't support a sexual abuser. Damn. He hasn't been proven guilty of sexual abuse. You can't blame that on him yet. Prove me wrong that the Democrats aren't evil. I need to hear your definition of evil, Cybertruck. I would need to hear you define what evil is. My last guest I tried to bring up didn't come up because he was acting like a little kid that broke his toy. Let me try it again. I don't know why my last guest did not come up. We'll try it again with Tara Moore. We need open conversation on or target workers will continue to have 300,000 after attacked by Democrat. What do you mean by that? You're saying we need to have open conversation or target workers will continue to have $300,000 after attacked by Democrat. I don't know what that means. I'm having trouble bringing up guests. I can tell you that. Let me try it with James Harper. James, good evening. Welcome to the program. Are you there? What's your thought on Chicago property taxes? They're sky high. James, hey. Make sure I got that. Okay. How are you feeling about Trump's America First? Do you feel like he's putting us first?
No, he's putting himself first.
MAGA don't think that.
Like the first caller said, MAGA is a cult. They don't realize they're a cult because if they did, they realize that all the things they swear up and down they believed in, they did a 180-degree turn when Trump started doing the exact things that they were claiming the Democrats were doing.
Well, I mean, listen, there are some things that the right complained about from Obama or Biden or Kamala Harris. And you're right, Trump playing golf, being on the internet too much. There are some things that they complained about and they're suddenly ignoring once Trump is in office. But you think that all MAGA supporters are in a cult? All of them?
If they can't even justify to you why it's suddenly okay for him to be doing all those things that they blame the Democrats are doing, then yes, they're in a cult.
How does that happen? How does one man, I mean, okay, look, I can understand if you saved my life or you've done something where I feel like I'm permanently indebted to you, but you're saying MAGA's in a cult. What has he done, in your opinion, to get them in this way? I mean, how do you get somebody to follow you like that?
It's simple. You sit there and validate their grievances. That's what he's done. He's validated everything that they said was wrong with this country, and they believe that he was actually going to fix it. And every time he doesn't come through, the first thing he says is, "Your enemies are stopping me from doing this." So they believed it.
So what do you think their grievances are?
They swear up and down the Democrats are trying to ruin the country. Immigrants are taking all their jobs. Let's see, what else? The LGBTQ is trying to convert their children.
Gangsta Grandma told me I'm not even a fucking ally, so I got hammered by Gangsta Grandma on that. Did you hear that exchange?
I heard that exchange, but at the same time, I'm staying out of there. I'm not getting on Gangsta Grandma bad side.
I don't want to get on her bad side either, but I don't think she has a good side. I think she literally goes to sleep on the wrong side of the rock. I don't think there is a good side.
I think like Miss Bo better said before, like she has personal traumas, and being like when those type of topics come up, it triggers her.
Fair enough, and that could be it. I'll leave it at that. That could be a fair point. So I guess so with President Trump, because I mentioned early in the program, obviously Trump is talking about Navy ships that this gold fleet is going to be named after him. The Trump F-47.
What is his obsession with gold?
Shit, it shows you're rich. Everybody can afford gold, James.
But remember, it was supposed to be a golden wall. We were supposed to have a golden dome air defense, and now we got the golden fleet, and not to mention the golden citizenship card.
Yeah, isn't there something in the Bible about liking gold? I've had a few Christians tell me that there's something in the Bible about worshiping gold.
You mean the golden bull, the fake deity that got the Israelis punished?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I've had a few Christians come on the program and talk about the Bible mentions how, some kind of viewpoint on idolizing gold like that. And Trump, you're right. When you say what's his obsession with
idolizing a false deity, and that's what Trump is. The golden calf, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely likes gold. Even when they showed the pictures that he's put the plaques in, this walk of fame in the White House where he's put all these insulting comments, I think he put gold above all those pictures. So
you remember how like conservative and MAGA always call people snowflakes?
Yes.
But they don't realize their leader is the biggest snowflake of all. You even look like you're talking bad about him. He's pitching a fit.
Yeah, they don't. Well, he doesn't take criticism very well. And this is on my screen. This is a picture of the plaques of all the presidents, and you do see this kind of gold ornamentation above it. I don't know what these things are. Just gold. I mean, I'm assuming all this wasn't there originally because he's laced gold everywhere. So if all of this is real gold, shit, how much money is on the wall in the White House?
Because at the same time, he's not about to just sit there and put gold on everything. All that's gold plated or gold painted.
Well,
he doesn't really have the budget for all that. He's not about to dig in his own pockets to pull that out, and his people is not going to sit there and put all that gold on it.
Well, according to him,
that's gold paint.
Well, according to him, people are throwing money at him right and left. The ballroom is free
because
the jet from Qatar was free. People like to give him shit.
No. Those are favors. Those are payments for favors. Because before then, there was no way in hell we were going to have them come to American base to learn how to fly jet aircraft that we have not sold them.
Yeah. So in other words, they weren't giving him a free jet. It was a payment on him reimbursing them in the future.
Right.
Now you don't. Go ahead.
This is the most transactional president we've ever had. And it's not even transactional for the U.S. It's transactional for him personally.
So is it Trump first as opposed to America first?
Yes, it is Trump first. And his people will swear up and down because, like I said, MAGA treats politics and what we do as a football team. As long as Trump is saying, we got this, they're sitting there jumping up and cheering and yelling. Because why would you sit there and accept a jet that he says is free, but it's going to still cost us over $1 billion just to make it so it actually can serve as Air Force One.
Yeah. Well, according to Trump, that jet was given to the American people, so you should actually be happy. It was given to you and me.
Okay, if it's a gift to the American people, why are we still building the other Air Force One? And then what happens when his administration's over with? Where does that jet go?
Smithsonian, according to him.
Yeah, right.
Which is crazy because that also means you're going to spend millions and millions of dollars getting this jet up to par just to park it in 3 years permanently. That doesn't make that would be the most colossal waste of money ever. You're going to spend tens of millions of dollars getting this jet presidential ready.
It's higher than that. It's higher than that because that equipment is probably going to cost tens of millions of dollars. You're looking at about $1 billion for the retrofit.
Yeah, I don't care if it was only $10 million. You're spending that money for something that's going to literally sit up and collect dust in 3 years. So I think it's safe to assume that jet is not going to be parked somewhere indefinitely once he leaves office.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then, like you got on the screen right there, that's a waste of money. Why would we do that when we can upgrade what we already have for cheaper? This whole Trump fleet, this Trump class. No, there is no point in that because we already got at least 3 to 4 times the size of the nearest country's fleet.
Well, but he's saying, I guess, that you see the ship that's pictured here. I think it looks like a laser coming out of it. So it's going to have laser capabilities. I mean, is it possible that maybe with all of the drones and all this other shit, our Navy needs to be upgraded? Because that's what he's talking about. Now, him calling it the Trump class. Normally they name classes after presidents after they're dead. You don't normally hear a living president say this shit gonna be named after me.
Remember, he's a narcissist. He's a snowflake. He has to put his name on everything. He wanted to put his name on a damn wall.
What do you mean on the wall at the border?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a list of stuff here. Obviously.
The Trump Kennedy Center, come on now. That was named after somebody else, but because that building has prestige, he wants his name on it too.
Yeah. I mean, the Trump Kennedy Center, Trump RX, the Trump immigration card, the Trump gold card, I think they're calling it, the Trump F-47 jet. This is called the Trump fleet. I mean,
he's treating the U.S. like he's treating one of his businesses. Every time there's an idea that comes in his head that he wants done, it's got to have his name on it. No matter if it succeeds or fails, Trump's got to be on that bitch.
I don't know. I mean, maybe MAGA likes that. He said tired of winning. So with my name everywhere, I'm going to show these liberals how much I'm going to stick it to these liberals so clearly that they're not going to be able to deny it. I'm going to put my name every fucking where.
And look at all the winning that's happening. Like we about to be like one of his businesses. In a few years, we gonna be going into bankruptcy.
You really think that could happen in America? You think that Trump is leading us down a path that could end up in bankruptcy?
He's definitely leading us down to a path that is going to be like that.
I got folks on the live right now, James, that are saying that groceries are down in their area, price of gas is down, inflation is down. They're making it sound like Trump's doing a stellar job economically.
And then they're lying to you because even Fox News is saying that inflation is up, groceries is up, and unemployment's up. So where are they getting this information from?
Him. Because he's saying the opposite.
If his propaganda network is saying, "Hey, we can't even keep this line going," that tells you something.
According to President Trump, obviously he stated that even your Thanksgiving dinner was 25% less. According to Trump, things are going phenomenal. He said there are more Americans working now than any time in U.S. history. I mean, he's suggesting that right now things are outstanding.
Just cut hundreds of thousands of jobs. How is more Americans working?
MAGA's not. Why are you asking these questions and MAGA's not? MAGA does not ask this shit. They actually say what he's saying is true. What's the difference?
Because MAGA only cares about themselves. They don't care if like other people are. Start remember, they're part of the pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Even if like people cut your bootstraps off, they still think that you're supposed to just make it up on your own. And helping other people out is considered taboo because it's socialism.
Well, as they said on Archie Bunker, everybody pulled their weight. I mean, they believe in self-responsibility, self-reliance.
But what they don't tell you is a lot of those people that's on them that's on those programs like food stamps, Section 8, they do have jobs. It's just their jobs aren't high paying, so they need to be on those programs. And they don't stay on those programs long. They stay on it 6 to 8 months, and then they actually are well enough that they can do something on their own.
Well, what about the tariffs? I'm hearing the tariffs are going to bring in a ton of money. In fact, you say the tariffs are already bringing in billions of dollars.
The tariffs is what's hurting people right now because the tariffs are the reason why all these goods have gone up. Because guess what? Them importers are not going to pay them tariffs, and that's who is supposed to pay them tariffs when they come to the country. So what they do, they pass that cost off onto the customers by raising prices.
But here's what I'm confused, because if what you're saying is true, I mean, fact is, MAGA goes to the grocery store just like you and I do. MAGA has bank accounts, retirement funds. I don't see where is the disconnect? Because MAGA paints this picture 180 degrees from what you're saying. Somebody is not seeing something right. Either you're lying or MAGA's lying. But because I got folks in the comments right now.
Lying and they don't want to admit that they're wrong, that they chose wrong. They do not want to admit that things are not going the way they thought it was. Just like when they was talking about, oh, we're going to get all those criminals out. How come the people that they're attacking are the people that's actually doing the right thing?
What do you mean?
In the court cases, like when they go after the immigrants, they go after the ones that's going to court. They're taking away protective status for the people that was actually doing it the right way. They're not going after people that just like jumped the border. They don't even know how to find those people.
Yeah. I think when it comes to immigrants, I think that shit. I mean, I hate to say it this way, but if you're a black or a brown immigrant, it don't matter if you're here legally or not. They kind of are okay with you getting kicked out.
You do not see them cracking down on no European-born immigrant that came in here. You don't even hear them talk about arresting people unless that person just happens to talk bad about Trump, and all of a sudden they're a target.
Yeah. I don't have any answer for that other than it does look like black and brown immigrants are getting targeted because of Somali immigrants. I mean, the Trump administration would know that even if there's fraud in Minneapolis or in Minnesota, they know most of them folks that are committing that are American citizens, that they were born here, they're naturalized. To send ICE there, to send ICE to Minnesota, like you're not going to net anybody. Nobody's here illegally.
But see, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't match the narrative because if you look at the fraud and all that, like you said, you will see that majority of that fraud is actually in rural red states, not like in these inner cities and things like that. It's the rural red states that are doing most of that Medicare fraud.
Yeah, but there is a lot of fraud in Minnesota coming from the Somali community, though. That actually did happen. The problem is they're not illegal people that are doing it, though.
Right, and then you also gotta look at the size of that community.
Yeah.
How big is that community compared to like the actual population of the state? Not
Very,
even 1%.
very small,
But
very small.
But they're supposed to be like a big part of it. Come on now, Tim.
I don't listen, and that's where I've said before. I don't think MAGA. Listen, if your mom or your grandma came to America from Somalia, and you were born here from that, I don't think that MAGA views the Somali population as Americans like the rest of us. I don't care if you're third, fourth generation. I don't think they see them as American. I think they will always be viewed as immigrants or outsiders to them, just like the Afghanis that came here in 2021. When they have children, they won't view them as Americans. They will still be viewed as Afghanis.
They're always going to be viewed that way. And guess what? As soon as an issue comes up, they're going to be the first ones they're going to point to as a scapegoat. Like it's going through a cycle right now. Right now, we on Muslims. Give it a couple months, we'll probably be either back on black people or Mexicans.
What do you think the goal is then?
The goal is to basically, they're going to keep trying to screw people. They're going to keep trying to like do their thing of getting money and getting the things that they want, but they're going to keep using those other people as the reason why things aren't going miraculously better like they said it was going to be.
What about the notion, and this is going to sound awful what I'm about to say, but there are folks who do subscribe to this theory. What about the notion that black and brown people commit so much damn crime that if America became a more whiter America, it might be safe to go back outside again?
That'd be a complete lie, because if you actually look at the crime statistics, you will see that the ones that commit the most crime are white people because they have the biggest population.
Really? Well, what about percentage-wise, though? You know, they say 13% of the population is black, 50% are incarcerated.
And guess what? And that's a lie, too, because that's not how the percentage either. You got to actually not look at the arrests, look at the conviction rates. They're sitting there talking about, they commit most of the crimes, but it's like, no, we got the most exonerations as well.
Yeah. But what about the fact that in our neighborhoods, it is more open air crime out where you can see it in black neighborhoods? There is far more crime that you can easily see. People are getting their purses snatched, their catalytic converters, and all of this shit is happening. That doesn't happen in most white neighborhoods anywhere near to the same level, right?
Yes, there is. The only difference is you got to look at poor white neighborhoods like they look at poor black neighborhoods, because that's who they put the cameras on. The poor black neighborhoods. They don't look at the middle class black neighborhood. They don't look at the rich black people. No, they look at the poor black people instead of looking at poor people in general and realize if these people weren't poor, crime would drastically go down. That's why you see places like Chicago and DC where their crime was already going down because they were starting to do stuff for the people.
Do you believe that poor white neighborhoods have the equal amount of crime as poor black neyborhoods?
Yes, but they don't report it like that.
Why do you think they don't report it?
Because it wouldn't fit the narrative. Like if they were just, because remember, every time like you see somebody that does something, they isolate the person instead of saying like, look, black people are dangerous. When it's a white person, this lone person or this mentally ill person did such and such.
I mean, I do understand there's some narratives, but you think all the media is out to portray blacks as being more violent and not tell the truth? The truth you're talking about that exists?
If you looked at most media's depiction of a white person that commits a crime, they'll find like a school picture or something that makes that person look somewhat innocent. You look at they do it to a black person, if they can get that shit as fast as they can, it's either a mugshot or like they'll look for like one of a picture that makes them look like.
Yeah, they did that to Trayvon Martin. They do that because there's this case coming up. I cannot think of the name of the players in the game right now, but when I say it, you guys all know of this African-American kid that was at a high school track meet or something, and he went under the wrong under the wrong umbrella or something, and he ended up stabbing a white kid. I used to know both of their names. It's going to be a big trial coming up about that, but they did the same thing. They found the worst pictures of him, and the white kid is, because the kid apparently told the guy, you cannot sit here or something, and tried to move him. And the black kid had some kind of knife. Yeah, it was in Texas. The black kid had some kind of knife, and he pulled it out. He ended up stabbing the kid in the chest and killed him. But yeah, when they showed the pictures of him, they showed a menacing picture Yeah, Carmelo Anthony. I can't think of the guy's name, but yeah, Austin Metcalf, I think it is. But they ended up, they showed just like you're talking about. They showed a menacing picture of the black guy, and the white kid looked so sweet and innocent. I don't know why they do that. You are right. That does seem to happen.
Okay, I got one better for you. Luigi Magnoni. Look at the picture that they got him. Is it his mugshot? No, it's a profile picture.
Yeah, and he murdered somebody in cold fucking blood. Yeah, that is true. That does happen. I mean, that's what we're dealing with,
and
man.
It's the same thing whenever a cop messes up. Whenever a cop messes up, let's grab that cop's uniform picture to make them seem like, oh, they were just in a bad situation, even though they could have done like the most dirtiest thing that ever happened. And they'll sit there like the victim, they'll find the worst picture of the victim, so it makes the cop look like he was just following the rules.
Yeah, I believe the comic term is dirtying up the victim. I gotta move it on, James, but yeah, that's what it's called when you dirty up the person. Like with Trayvon Martin, who really had nothing. They went and found out he was truant from school. He smoked weed. That's all they could come up with. He was a 17-year-old with no criminal history, and he was truant. He skipped school. Like, he's dead. You bringing up that he skipped school? Like somehow that justified what George Zimmerman did to him. Right. So dirtying up the victim is as old as the days.
One more thing, Tim. Stop bringing people like Straight Talk and Snuggles on your live, because they're the ones that keep getting your live shut down.
I don't think that's the case. Well, Snuggles ain't been on here in a while. Look, I believe
Straight Talk. You brought Straight Talk up 2 times, and both times you brought him up, your live got shut down.
Did we get shut down yesterday on Straight Talk? I had to think about that one. I don't want people to get the live shut down, but I want to hear from as much MAGA as I possibly can. But I got to move it on, James.
Right, but you gotta shut them down quick, because if you don't, they get to going on them points. What ends up happening is either they get taken down or your live gets taken down.
Well, as handsome conservative is talking about, gangster grandma's getting me in trouble too. It's hard having free speech, man. It's hard having free speech. Oddly enough, I don't get censored on X. I don't get censored on YouTube. Facebook continues on. It's just TikTok that's doing this. It's just TikTok. None of the other apps are censoring me. So when I do go down on TikTok, tune in on YouTube for any of you folks that are watching. Sometimes we continue the program on the other platforms, but it's TikTok right now. James, I got to go. Thanks for coming through.
All right, Tim.
Appreciate it. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. We might be to hit the 100,000. We had 80. Get your boy on up to 90. Certainly would appreciate that. That's something that could be taught. Now, what do you mean by, okay. Tim, I'm in a cult and did 180. I don't believe you. Are you for real, Ed? Ed says, I'm in a cult and I did 180-degree turn. We voted her most unfit and unpopular. I guess you're talking about Kamala Harris, but Upper Elite Masters says she's the best, and we do 180 on everything we said about her, even though, Ed, are you talking about Kamala Harris? I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. You're saying I'm in a cult and did 180. Okay, so if you're in a cult, who are you in a cult for? And now you're against if you did 180. You said we voted her most unfit and unpopular. I'm assuming you're talking about Kamala Harris. That's what that sounds like. You said, but Upper Elite Masters say she's the best, and we do 180 on everything we said about her, even though we knew nothing about her. You gotta clear some of that up. I think you're talking about Kamala Harris. Anyway, moving on with the program. And Luke says, use your mind. I'm trying to use my mind. That's what's leading me to Kamala Harris. I'm trying. I didn't take the Lord's name in vain. Learn this. Okay, you guys are talking about the Lord's name in the comments. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the unemployment rate in the most recent report, November, was 4.6, which is higher than last November and steadily. 4.6% unemployment is pretty high for Trump's term. Because I remember debating liberals under Trump's first term, and that was one of the things I was giving Trump credit for, is the very low unemployment rate. He had got it down to like 3.5%. He had got the unemployment rate down. I believe it was lower than what Obama had it. He had got it down to 3.5%. 4.6, it's high under Trump. And as many viewers have pointed out, certain communities is even worse. Like the Black community, it's over 8%. teenagers and stuff like. I mean, it's bad. It is bad. And here's what I don't get before we continue on, go to the next caller and tap the screen, get us up to 90. We can absolutely make that happen. Let your thumbs not be lazy and get the likes on us. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube as well. Give your boy a sub. We try to make it entertaining. But what I don't get is this. Why is President Trump, why is MAGA acting shocked that Trump's unemployment numbers may be a little bit higher? I mean, since Trump has been in office, have you heard of any industry that's been doing a lot of hiring? I mean, we started out with Doge. We started out with USAID. We started out closing all sorts of departments, the federal government. I mean, they literally ran a campaign of firing every damn body. Wouldn't you expect the unemployment rates to be very high? I mean, they literally came in office firing whole departments all over the damn place. I'm hearing unemployment in DC is ridiculous right now. I'm hearing that they're not even foreclosing on homes in DC for what I hear. I'm not there, but I heard that they've slowed down foreclosing on homes because it's too many people behind on their mortgages. You go into this town where a large amount of federal workers are, and you start firing everybody. Well, the bank is going to become overwhelmed with a lot of people that can't keep up with their mortgages. And the banks know why. They know why all of these people are behind in this town. They fired everybody. We don't want to foreclose on all of these homes because then you start bringing down the price of all the other ones and shit. So why would he expect his unemployment numbers to be anything other than terrible? Also, keep in mind, get us up to 90,000. We'll take the next caller. Keep in mind when President Trump made the demand for some federal workers to just resign. And if they resigned, he would keep them on the payroll until September, and then they would be officially taken off. So I'm going to give you, I think it was like 9 months of free pay or something they were touting. So if you resign, we're going to keep you and give you 9 months severance pay. But if you don't resign, then you're going to get fired anyway or something like that. So a lot of people took the severance pay. Well, what ended up happening is, as of September, a whole new batch of people are now officially listed as unemployed because they were not listed as unemployed when you were giving them severance pay. Even though they weren't working, you don't basically kick them off of their job, but they are going to get severance pay until September. Well, once that hit, now they are officially off the employment rolls. So once again, boom, that quarter, you're going to have a rise in unemployment again. I don't get why it's so shocking that Trump's unemployment rates are so bad. You came in firing every fucking body. That's going to translate to high unemployment numbers. I don't know why that's fake news. I think he fired somebody for giving bad unemployment numbers. I think the first person that gave him, he fired him and got somebody else in there. Makes no sense to me. You can kind of see what's going on. Anyway, looking in the comments, that way they looked better than firing them. Not really. If I've been working at a job for 10, 20, 30 years, and you tell me I got to resign and you're going to give me 9 months, that's just as bad as firing me. Because I don't worked up seniority, federal gig, I'm in the union probably. My job is secure. I mean, I don't work up a lot of shit, and now you're telling me in 9 months I got to go start over somewhere else. That's just as bad as firing me. It is. That's terrible. That's terrible. And you've seen people all on YouTube. There was one girl carrying her stuff out of her office, and she's crying. One woman was riding home on the subway, and he made a TikTok, and it says, "I just got fired," and she's crying. And I mean, it's horrible, horrible shit. I mean, these are people that have been working at their jobs for quite a while. They're getting terminated. It used to be a good thing to get a government job. He's kind of changed it now. Anyway, looking in the comments, you may be right to him. I think you were on, let me go back to the box. You can't even get unemployment if you're fired. Is that true? Jesus. Do we need the silver so we can fight werewolves? Don't know what that means, but I'll go back to the box. We're talking about America first. How do you feel? You think that Trump's leading us down that path? Are you feeling very connected to his term? I don't know if I tried to bring a guest up and it did not come up. That was Jeremy. We'll go to Sherbert. Good evening, Sherbert. Welcome to the program.
How's it going, Tim?
It's an America First kind of night. How you feeling?
Not too great, but that's because everything's kind of going to shit.
Examples. What do you mean? Elaborate.
I mean, Trump just keeps trying to bring power to himself and put his name on everything. And it's just the saddest form of narcissism that we could do because it doesn't even make sense.
Why is it? I mean, okay, is it all narcissism to have a guy who's still alive literally just plaster his name all over Washington, D.C. like he's some kind of gangbanger tagging every damn thing?
I think the true example when he tries to get a stamp with his face on it, and they're not allowed to do that because
did he try that?
The people that live. No, but I won't be surprised when he tries to do it.
Well,
that's how much I'm so very sure that he's going to try to do that because the only thing that matters is getting his face and name out there.
Well, I mean, he's doing a really good job in Brandon. I mean, his name is on every damn thing. I mean, it's crazy how much he's putting his name on stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if the Qatar jet, since Air Force One is going to be in the making as well. He may put his name on a Qatar jet.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure of it. As soon as it goes out of service of it being his Air Force One, he's going to take it over. And he's going to say, actually, I wrote in very, very small print that I can do this. And no one's going to check it because his fans will never actually care.
Yeah, but let's be clear. If Obama, Biden, or any other Democrat was plastering their name all over D.C., don't you think MAGA would have something to say about that?
No, 100%. All of the different things that he does with executives would have been screamed about from the heavens if a Democrat tried to do it. Biden tried to relieve student debt, and got crucified for it. So, no, the hypocrisy is so overblown that there's no coming back. Republicans have given up all of the good grace that we can give them. Well, maybe they meant this. No, they've said it 20 times the other way. That's what they're saying.
Now, I had a guest on, my first guest. I don't know if you were here for that, but she stated she voted for Trump all 3 times, and man, she really was a compelling guest. Now, she's changed her tune because she believes Trump is not delivering on any of his signature campaign promises. But she was the first MAGA guest I've ever had that made that 180 in state, because Jeremy in the comments also, Jeremy has said he's not totally happy with President Trump. I think he gives him a C- or something like that. But she was super unhappy. And she stated all of the things that she voted for Trump for, the border and ending the wars and things like that. And she felt like he hasn't met any of his promises. And she states that she does believe that MAGA is a cult. It was kind of weird to talk to MAGA that was on the outside with those type of adverse opinions now.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to that because I didn't hear it, but
yeah, the good thing is
he cares more about himself. It is Trump first, not America first. And it's so very clear. I'm glad that your previous guest actually saw it for what it is versus living in the cult mindset.
And the good thing is, folks, anybody who wants to go back, all of our live streams, if you go to the Handsome Liberal on YouTube and click on live videos, every live stream, and they all have the same photo you see here. That's the thumbnail. So that'll be the thumbnail. But it's the very first caller. So you don't have to go, scroll it. It's the very first caller. She is unlike, listen, I've had plenty of MAGA guests, plenty of liberals. She is unlike any guest I ever had. I would definitely say go take a listen to her because I may end up making a short out of what she was doing. I mean, I was just really surprised to hear somebody change like that. But once again, Sherbert, she knows a lot of MAGA supporters because she's one, and she said none of them have changed.
No, things have to get, unfortunately, much worse to the point of no return before these people will admit the Earth is actually round and not flat, and the bottom part says Trump.
What could happen? What do you believe could happen that would lead MAGA to change on Trump? Before you answer that, the answer concerning says, like Pinky in the Brain, we will take over the world. You sound like Nick Fuentes. You're never going to have control of your bodies again. We could, you just sound like, says Pinky in the Brain, we're going to take over. So you're saying that MAGA is going to take over the world? You think MAGA is going to spread outside of America? Britain first,
God, no.
Brazil first, Argentina first?
I mean, there are cliques of that all over the place, but they will never get control because it's always the fringe. It's always the crazy people. They're just so incredibly loud right now, but they don't actually know what they're doing. But if they did, they'd actually pass the laws to cement the shit that they want to do, but they're too dumb to do that. It's just executive order after executive order that is going to get turned around in the next presidency, if not the one after that.
Yeah. And I see in the comments real quick, Ed G says, it went over your head. He said MAGA is a cult and did a 180, like you guys didn't do a 180 cult following to Kamala because upper elite said so. No, I don't. A large portion of the Democrat Party did not vote. So clearly the Democrat Party did not follow Kamala like you guys followed Trump. The rallies weren't
for her.
Huh?
I voted for her.
Yeah,
I
but
would have been happy for her to become the president. She was a good candidate by everything else. I voted for her in the primary, so I voted for her 2 different times.
So you actually voted for her in the primary over Biden and all of them?
Well, I voted with Biden and Kamala. Well,
I'm talking about remember when Kamala was trying to tell Biden that his comment was racist, and she was like, I could be that little girl. When she was running against all the other Democrats, did you vote for her?
no, as I think about it back, I voted for Biden only.
And that's what I'm saying. I believe that most of Kamala Harris's votes were anti-Trump votes. I don't believe they were pro-Kamala votes. I think people hated Trump on the left so much, they would have voted for a dog over Trump. So they weren't voting for Kamala, they were voting against Trump.
I would have voted for her if they had upheld the open primary at least. But they didn't, and I was totally fine with her being in there because she was already the vice president and she had the qualifications.
So if she had been voting, if she had been going up against Gavin Newsom and Whitmer and all, you would have still picked Kamala Harris.
Yeah, Newsom had a very bad reputation. I'm from California, so I enjoy his humor on Twitter trolling the president, but he is not the best candidate. I would have been fine with her.
So what about now? What about going forward in 2028? You think Kamala should step up as the leader of the party again?
I wish that would happen, but it probably won't. It'll probably be Newsom because he's got the voice. At this point, we need somebody that will speak loudly instead of just with a good point, because MAGA doesn't care about a good point. They don't care about the facts. They just want the culture. And so, unfortunately, it probably has to be someone like Newsom that can speak loudly. Fuck yourself.
Damn. I'll tell you somebody I've brought up before, and I know MAGA hates when I say this, but I actually think Kamala Harris's running mate would be a better choice than her. I think Tim Walz, with the exception of now that this Somali shit has came up, they would be hammering him about this, but Minnesota loves Tim Walz. I actually think Tim Walz would be a better leader for the Democrat Party than Kamala. I also really favor the astronaut out of Arizona. What is the guy's name? Kelly General? What was the guy's name?
I believe it's Mark Kelly.
Mark Kelly, yeah. I really favor him. I think he would be a better candidate than Kamala Harris.
I like Tim Walz. I don't really know much about Mark Kelly other than he was an astronaut, which is not a bad selling point when all you had to do was I was on TV on The Apprentice.
Well, he also was a fighter pilot as well in the military. I think he flew A6s or something like that. I mean, he was also not a attack pilot. There's a difference between an attack pilot and a fighter pilot. But he was an attack pilot. So I mean, he has a military background as well. He's a senator in Arizona, so clearly he has something to run on. We'd find out what he's voted for and what he's voted against, but there's more there. To me, Kelly is probably the best choice for the Democrat Party, but we would need to hear him speak. But I think Kelly's a pretty good choice.
I think it'd be hard for the Republicans to come back and say anything bad about an astronaut and a combat veteran.
Shit.
And they would, don't get me wrong. They would still say it, but they would have trouble saying anything that made sense other than just straight stupidity, which they're really good at. And their fans will just eat it all up no matter what, no matter how stupid the idea is.
I mean, his wife.
No, we have to do this.
There was an attempted assassination on his wife, Gabby. I mean, but you can find something bad to say about anybody. If they really go through your entire life with a fine-tooth comb. There's going to be something to say about you. Maybe he made a statement that he shouldn't have made. I mean, just like with Tim Walz, they were saying he put tampons in the bathrooms. And I'm like, I've been in Minnesota plenty of times. I've never been to the Mall of America or anywhere in Minnesota and saw a tampon in a men's bathroom.
If there is one thing we need to follow after MAGA is the so what attitude. And so when they bring up these skeletons, so what? If you couldn't care less about Trump protecting the e-files, well then fuck you. I don't care about Tim and his tampons or any other divorces after the Stormy Daniels bullshit we went through. Nothing matters at this point. All of the other skeletons are now, 2 inches tall for everyone else when we've got the 20-foot skeleton and Halloween decoration in front of our yards of all the horse shit Trump has done and tried to defend. So whatever. I don't give a shit anymore. So what?
That's a strong point to make, is that if you can overlook his resistance on the Epstein files, tampons or whatever, the so what approach is pretty strong on that, because that is something the liberals we didn't have going into the 2024 election. But now, but also people don't realize that when it comes to the Democrats deciding who they're going to choose next president, everybody keeps comparing whoever the Democrats choose to Trump. But in reality, they're running against Vance or Rubio or somebody. It's not Trump they're running against.
Yes and no. It's still his mindset. With the talking points will be repeated, even if it won't work because it's not Trump. They're just so like, but our guy said do this. And they'll get 20%, 35%, but I can't see it going well for them when even, all these super red states are flipping blue on these individual votes for people. I forget what you call it. Season elections.
But let me ask you, do you think a Vance or a Rubio or whoever do you think they can still, because Trump has gotten an amazing amount of love and adoration from MAGA. Do you think Vance or Rubio could lead MAGA with the same conviction, the same strength as Trump?
No.
Yeah. I agree with that. I don't think I don't think there's anybody that could do that.
Because none of them have the army of lawyers Trump stiffed over a lot of his lawyers, but he will send an appeal after, blocking something and making a court process take 100 times longer than it needs to and bleed out, the opposition of court cost.
Yeah.
So anybody else like Rubio doesn't have that opportunity, doesn't have that budget. And so nobody will be able to talk as much shit and get away with it as Trump did.
Yeah, I think Trump, the way he knows how to handle himself in front of a microphone, I don't think you can I don't think that can be repeated. I think he's a once in a lifetime type candidate. The way he speaks and the way he knows how to gather people in the way, because people say that they're in a cult, for instance. It takes a special type of leader to get folks to give you cult-like following. I don't see J.D. Vance or Rubio being able to get that.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, Rubio is trying to do that when he was just deporting random college students because, hey, we gave you a visa, we can take away your visa.
Yeah.
And so he tried for a little bit, but I don't think he has the resolve to actually go full MAGA and, just say, fuck you, so what?
Yeah, I don't think him or J.D. Vance has, Trump has that it factor that, like I said, you just cannot duplicate. Let me ask you about somebody, and this is obviously, we're just speculating here because the person is now dead and gone. Charlie Kirk, do you think he could have rallied the troops like that?
Maybe for 2032.
Yeah, he's become incredibly popular in
He
death.
had a little more time, but I don't think he would have been ready. But he definitely would have been a big help for anyone else coming up in 2028.
Yeah. So he definitely likely had a career in politics, you would see.
I despised him, but he was a pivotal figure.
Yeah. Well, he's been silenced, so that won't be. And his wife, I don't know what her future is. I mean, she's obviously. That's an evil laugh, man. That is an evil fucking laugh.
To go with an evil woman with how she's presenting herself, at least.
I thought she was
Oh my God, she's terrifying.
I thought she was just a pretty lady that talked to God.
I mean, maybe before, but now that the weight's on her shoulders, she's going full crazy eyes.
Yeah, do you see all of the TikToks about the piercing eyes and how she stares? She's almost hypnotizing.
It's the Bride of Chucky, like, over and over again, and I wish it would go away.
Well, give it up for the woman. At least she gives good hugs, though. I mean, you get your head massaged and shit.
I mean, whatever. I'm not going to hug that lady. I want to stay as far away from her as possible.
I'd give her a hug for Jesus. I'd give her a hug.
And have fun getting cursed.
Oh, damn. What are you trying to indicate? I got to move it on, sure, but you're crazy, but I'd give her a hug. She's a nice looking lady. She'd probably be cool. She hung out with Nicki Minaj.
No, maybe. Just always remember J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
Sherbert, always a pleasure, man. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, tap the screen. Did we cross wait, why the hell ain't we at 100? HUNNIT. Get your boy up to 100. Tap the screen, get those likes up. We will liberate the other countries and take over the world. Handsome conservative. What in the actual fuck? You're telling me MAGA is going to liberate the other countries and take over the world? I don't even think the other countries liked Liberation Day, the terrorists. I don't think they're going to let liberate the other. Look, you can't listen. There's only so much Trump can do, in my opinion, in terms of what you're talking about, worldwide stuff, because I actually believe there's a significant amount of Americans that would not be on board. If Trump tried to really get deep down into taking over another country or ruling the world, some of this crazy stuff you're talking about, I think you would have a lot of dissension in the U.S. military. There's a lot of people that are serving in uniform that don't like Trump. And if he got crazy, just my opinion here, but if he got crazy, I think there would be, I don't want to say mutiny, but there would be resistance coming from within the military. You see what happened with General Milley, where in his first term, he contacted China and let them know ahead of time, don't worry about a crazy order because we ain't going to follow it. It seems like now in Trump's second term, General Milley might have been on to something. The difference, though, is that when General Milley did that, obviously Trump didn't have a full loyal audience surrounding him. He actually has that now. So he's now in position to do so. Like, I don't think his first term would let him do what he's doing off the coast of Venezuela. He might have got authorization to bomb Iran. I think there's plenty of support to stop Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon, but there's a lot of dissension with what he's doing with Venezuela. And now he's stopping oil rigs and all of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that don't like that. In his first term, I think he would have had a lot more resistance of doing that. Weaponized DOJ, using Pam Bondi as like literally a rifle to shoot at people. I mean, that would not have happened in his first term. He's able to get away with a lot more stuff now. Looking in the comments, though, that's a fake outage. What do you mean by outage? Caller is a beta. Handsome conservative, I see you said I'm just messing with you. All right, fair enough. You're always welcome on the program. Absolutely not. I don't believe none of that would have ever happened. Charlie Kirk was an ass. Charlie Kirk was a debater. He was a bomb thrower. I mean, look, the guy found his niche and made a fortune doing it. I mean, I can't hate on the guy, but look, what you say has consequences. I mean, if you take up a career insulting people and saying controversial shit and speaking ill of people, folks are not going to like you. And yeah, Charlie Kirk made a fortune. The crazy thing is, once Charlie Kirk lost his life, his wife is going around complaining about people saying bad things about her husband and stuff like that. You know, what did she say? Stop with the big bold eyes or whatever. Just stop doing it. Like your man was bringing home the bacon to you by doing the same shit you're telling people to stop doing. You know your man was out there on stage insulting and saying all kinds of awful shit about people. Now that he's passed on, you want people not to do it to him. I mean, did he not say awful shit about Martin Luther King, who died in similar fashion? Okay, well, if he can do it to him, they can do it to him. So I think that that's a bit of wishful thinking for Mrs. Kirk. It's been 3 months since Charlie Kirk said anything racist. Since some of Jose 3 months on. Yeah, well, you're probably not going to hear much from Charlie Kirk going forward. No more silver for military weapons. What do you mean by that? She's not even the chairman of the board anymore. Another guy is isn't she the CEO? Isn't that Erica Kirk's company now? That's her shit. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 101,000 likes. A little bit slow on tapping the screen, but thank you for doing that. We're going to have a couple more shows before, at least one more before Christmas. I want to go ahead and wish all of you folks a Merry Christmas a little ahead of time, just in case we don't end up talking again, but we will be doing another show. If you enjoy this type of dialogue from all sides of the aisle without any censorship, I'll ask once again, follow the program if you're currently watching us live on TikTok, Instagram, or X, and we're currently live on X as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the program. Charlie Kirk picked on people of didn't race for views and money. That's how he got started out, not rocket science. The way you worded that, Shy McNeil, I can't quite get what you're saying. You said Charlie Kirk picked on people of didn't race for views. I guess you said of different races for views. True. I agree with that. For views and money. That's how he gets. So he's saying that Charlie Kirk picked on people of different races to get views and clicks and make money. True. That is true. That is part of how he started. I mean, for someone who did not hang around a lot of people of color, he sure has a lot of comments out there you can readily find developed. Now, people say you're taking them out of context or whatever. I don't get why you have these views on them to begin with. You don't hang around these people. I mean, how do I look talking about Mexicans all the damn time? I don't hang around a bunch of Mexicans. I don't get that. We all have opinions that makes don't know what that means. And you're right about that. Whatever the name is, says First Amendment. Yeah, it is your First Amendment right to do it, but free speech does not mean free of consequences. If you want to take a platform of I'm going to use my free speech rights to go around insulting people, saying controversial shit and pissing people off, you have a right to do that. That's your legal. And Trump is trying to get rid of that right, by the way. And then you know my beloved MAGA's not going to like me saying it, but Trump is trying to get rid of your right to do that to him. But fact is, if you want to go around insulting people and saying controversial shit, right now you do have a right to do that. That doesn't exclude you from consequences from doing it. I think Charlie Kirk probably paid the ultimate price as a consequence for his speech. According to Tyler Robinson, the guy that got in jail for taking his life, it's because of what he was saying. Now, nobody has a right to take your life for what you're saying. But as I said, you're going to go around saying controversial shit. Don't be surprised if you're the victim of controversial shit. That's what ended up happening. Anyhow, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Real quick, I'll go before I drop out. Well, he's gone already. Anyhow, I do got to step away. If you will, feel free to follow the program. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Give your boy a sub. Thank you. Real quick on YouTube, of course, but if you think you have a right to take a life, then you have you don't have the right to take anybody's life for what Charlie Kirk said. No, you don't have a right to do that. But Charlie Kirk said himself, I think a few gun deaths would be acceptable to preserve the Second Amendment. So he put himself out there, and unfortunately, bad things happen. Don't mean it's justified, but look, just like if you go in a bar, you start saying all kinds of awful shit about people, somebody in the bar may swing on you. That don't mean you deserve it, but that's what kind of happens. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you tuning in. See you mañana. It's your boy